Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost!
But every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time. Forget yourself, pal.
If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Hello, love wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And y'all know what that means. Episode 195.
Now, are we sure about that?
No, we're over 200 for sure.
Well, with all the stuff we've done, but I meant I'm typing it in today, and I was like, I thought we did 195 last week, but I don't know.
Was it, what, did it say 194 last week?
I don't remember. I think it did. Holy stuff. 195, the boss says. But he says 1/3 of the screen has actively been on a roller coaster. Is he saying?
Well, Rick is. Well, I think he's talking about.
Yeah, but he's not here. So on the screen currently, Spencer, are you saying one of us?
No, there's one half of the screen denied going on the roller coaster. With Spencer, one half of the screen currently.
But yes,
but in about 10 minutes or so, around 8:15. Yeah, we will be joined by the lovely Ucchino, and then 1/3 of the screen. Yes, and then 1/3 of the screen will have actively been on a roller coaster with Spencer Love at one point.
Did you book Rick because him and I are beefing?
I didn't book Rick actually.
Oh, I did. Whoops.
Yeah, you did. You were beefing, and you were like, "I'm still getting him in." I was like, "All right." I had to separate you. I had to separate you guys at the Rumble, and then I snapped that picture. I thought we were going to use that picture for the graphic. I don't know why.
Oh, why did you say something? That's cheating.
I thought I had it in my phone, but I didn't, and I was.
I have it.
I've been deathly ill all week.
I think I have
out of commission.
Oh, shoot.
I have been out of commission. Though that I thought for sure. That was going to be the picture. See?
So we got Spencer saying, hey, I set up the links. I know the numbers. Scott saying, good evening. Please read some of the rest of the chat, Pluggo. Okay. I don't know how to read. We've established that. And then Dustin saying, Pluggo beefing with somebody. Shocker. Yeah. So remember, you know how we've always joked. I want to start with this before our guest gets here. I don't want to bore him with this, but we teased it on socials this week. You know how we always joke that I can't read?
Yeah. Yeah, you went to the eye doctor.
I did. For the first time.
Are you getting glasses that are going to be thick?
I was in high school. I was in high school, and because it's a $10 exam, and we get money put into our health savings account, and Mrs. Pluggo has been hounding me to go because she's like, it's free money. You just go, and they give you money for whatever you may need. It's like a wellness thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to go. And I go to the eye doctor place, and I walk in, and they go, what can we do for you? Blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm here to get an eye exam. I haven't had one since high school. She said, don't tell me that.
Yeah.
And I went, okay.
Surprised she didn't slap you.
She thought about it. So I don't know if anybody's gotten an eye exam in the last however many years.
You're supposed to get them every year.
Yeah, apparently.
Just so we know. You're supposed to get them as somebody who wears glasses.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get them every year.
That's what Miss Kate Fabe said online. Miss Pluggo said
it doesn't. It's not just about whether you can see or not. It like checks your brain and like it helps in all sorts of things. You know. Yeah.
So she's like, so the lady that is working is like, let me take you to the pre-screen before you get to the doctor. So you got to go into one little room and take a series of tests before you get to the other room.
They blow the air in your eye.
They did the air thing, which was weird. But so I sit down. She goes, put your chin here, forehead here.
Mm-hmm.
The second she turns the machine on, I'm not kidding, she laughed.
Yeah, because your eye was probably terrible.
She goes, she's like, are you messing with me? Do you wear contacts? I was like, no, what do you mean? She's like, she goes, I'm not the doctor, but you should probably look at the frames. And I go, it's 2 seconds. We just started.
Yeah.
So then she sits me to the next machine and she's just like trying not to scold me as a grown adult. She's like, sir, this isn't a good sign. And so I go and I do the regular eye exam with the doctor and he's doing his things and he goes, and he laughed at me. So I got laughed at twice now by doctors that are supposed to be professionals. They're laughing at little Pluggo. He goes, I don't know how somebody with this eyesight test has been able to function without glasses for his entire life.
There you go.
He goes, are you sure like things don't look weird to you? And I go, I don't know. I just deal. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, I haven't noticed anything. I mean, sometimes I have to go like this when I read comments, but he goes, you should have already been in glasses like 10 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay. So he like laughs at me and he's like, yeah, so here's your prescription. And then you need to go, you can
pick out your frames.
Well, and I went and I looked and they didn't really have any great frames at this place that I went. It wasn't a great selection.
As long as you have your prescription, you can go on like any of those websites and you can get some.
And there's a lady, she's like the same lady. She's working the desk, she's bringing me up and she's showing me frames and she's like, what's wrong with you? And I go, what do you mean what's wrong with me? And she's like, how have you not gotten glasses? Like she starts going in on me. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm fine. Like I see things. She was like, just wait till you get glasses.
Yeah, like it's going to be a whole new world for you.
She's like, a whole new world. She's like, she laughed at me. So I got laughed at by 3 people in an optometry place that were supposed to be professionals that could not believe that these eyes have not had glasses. So officially, I ordered some yesterday because I couldn't find any I liked. I went online. I ordered 2 pairs of glasses.
Would you do Warby? Did you go to Warby Parker?
I did not. I'm not that bougie.
Which one? I think they got cheap ones on there. Which one would you go? Just anywhere?
I went to like this glass shop, Glasses USA, the #1 rated online glass place. They had a BOGO.
There we go.
2 pairs. And then my job, because I got the exam and our new insurance kicks in, you get a free pair of glasses with them in a couple of months. So in 6 days, according to this website, which I'll be shocked if they come in 6 days, I'll be in some glasses for the first time in my entire life.
And you're going to put those on and you're going to be like, what the hell was I doing?
And then
you're going to know why they laughed at you.
Yeah, they were just like, how do you see at night? Like, what do you mean? Like,
that's true, though. You think you see fine.
Apparently.
That's all you've known. In reality, you probably don't see fine as you are squinting looking at a comment right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Get in there.
But
I assumed over the years of podcasting that it's just because the screen is so bright that I have to like.
No, it's because your eyes are shit.
Apparently.
So your eyes are shit.
So man. I am a moron.
Don't be too hard on yourself.
Should have went much sooner. But we'll rectify that.
When was the last time you went to the regular doctor?
To a regular doctor
for like a physical, like a yearly.
I don't do a yearly.
Your birthday's
physical.
Coming up. You should be going to a yearly, bro.
The last time I went to an actual doctor was right around the time my dad passed away, so 2020, and the guy essentially goes, "You're fat."
Well,
okay.
I mean, that's
I was like, "Sir, I'm aware." Thank you. He's like, you should probably lose some weight. And I went, I paid $100 for this. Thanks,
$100? What the fuck is what?
Yeah,
whoops! Damn it! I just missed the mark. Missed the mark.
Somebody donate
$100.
Yeah.
100. What kind of copay system is $100?
I didn't have the greatest insurance at that point. But I'm just saying, like, I was like, oh, cool. So like, because I hadn't gone to the doctor previous to that in like ever.
What do you mean ever?
Like, I don't do regular checkups. The last real appointment I ever had, if we're gonna get legit here,
I'm not talking like, oh, I hurt something or I have
I've had a
I'm talking like a physical to check that your well-being is okay. Obviously, we're both fat. They're gonna tell us
5 years ago. Then it's been 5 years.
I mean, that's not great. That's not great.
And then before that, it was definitely like a good 10.
Brother.
I don't go.
Brother. Here's my thing. Like, obviously, you should go to the doctor at least once a year for your yearly physical to make sure. But like, once you turn 30,
that's what
you gotta go, man. Because like, that's when you think everything starts deteriorating. You gotta go.
That's what they said. They were like, you should start going. I mean,
like, you got once you get to a certain age, you got to go every year because you need to make sure.
Apparently,
all sorts of stuff can happen.
Based on my eyesight report, yeah, I should probably go more. But either way, I went. Dustin and JPJ are correct. It'll be between 4 eyes sooner than later.
Hell yeah.
Because
what
apparently
a time that's going to be.
The guy was also like, you should probably wear them
all the time,
more often than not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't these aren't reading like these are all the time, I got
a pair of some fancy blue light lenses for stuff like this to help.
Blue light lenses. That's fancy. I need one of those.
So it helps your eyesight when you're streaming. I got me some sexy pair for when I want to go out on the town with Mrs. Pluggo.
What does that mean, sexy pair?
I don't know. They're just like they're like nice. They're designer. There's like I got a pair like you got, and then I got a pair with like some.
Like you went this design kind of like this, like
I go square-ish, and then I went with the ones without the bottoms with a little bit of and they're like they're like a dark green. They're bougie.
I don't dislike those, but for some reason, without having the bottom border, I feel like that just looks weird.
I feel like I pull it off, but
you've never worn glasses, so you can experiment. Like you're like, oh, I've been wearing glasses my whole life, so I have a certain.
I spent no joke the entire night on websites doing the virtual try-on, looking at this pair, looking at that pair, looking at these frames, looking at those frames.
Wait, this website has a virtual try-on?
They all got virtual.
So what? You put your face, you take a picture of your face, and it shows you what it look like on your face,
and then they put them on. It's wonderful. And then
I mean, Spencer's saying don't drop the ones with no bottoms because it's game over.
That's fair. Those I think because I bought a pair because of my shoot job is very hands-on. I'm a maintenance manager, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I got some like heavier duty ones for that, and then I figured those would just be more of like when I want to go out or whatever.
Yeah, but Scott is scolding you, and he's saying he goes, the fact that you have a family, he's like, you should go every year just for.
They go plenty. I tend to not go as often.
I'm just saying.
Look, I appreciate you're not wrong. I just have a weird thing with doctors, and the last few times I've gone, all they tell me is I'm fat. I'm like, I already know that. Thank you.
First of all, did they tell you it that way?
Yeah. No. The
doctor just came on and said, "Bro, you're fat."
Swear to God, the last doctor I went to was like, "Hey, listen, you know you're overweight, right?" And I went,
all right, that's fair.
Dude.
Yeah,
like,
all right. You made it sound like he literally walked in the room and went, "Oh, you're fat,
that's
bro."
That's a doctor's way of going, like, bro.
Yeah, you're overweight. You need to lose weight. Watch what you eat and go do exercise, or you're gonna die before you should. I've had the same doctor since I was like 14 years old, so I've known this guy for 25 years. So him and I have a relationship where he talks to me probably not how he talks to new patients, right? But like,
fair.
Yeah, I mean, I see him every year. And every year he goes, "Oh, you're still big," and I go, "Yeah."
Thanks, Boris.
What happened?
He just tweeted. He clipped that "I am a moron" part.
Oh, is that what it is?
But no, yeah. So yeah, I should. You're right. The fact that I have a family and I don't go, you're preaching to the.
Well, now you know it's better. It's better late than never, as they say.
Yeah, you can always
better.
I could rally.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you have to rally. I just think you need to.
I don't think I'm in dire straits.
I just think you need to, make sure that everything's going the way it should.
I get a colonoscopy every 5 years.
What?
Yeah, I do that.
You're not supposed to get what?
Yeah, my dad had colon cancer. It's already.
Oh, all right, that's fair. I was gonna say, I don't think you don't really need to get. I don't think you need to get one until you.
And we're not gonna go full Katie Couric on beards and do the whole exam.
No,
we're gonna do that. That was wild. We're not gonna do that here. But
a colonoscopy, isn't that the one? Like, I thought when you were 40, you kind of dive into that, and then you got to do it every.
I do it every 5 years, brother.
All right, that's fair.
It's the worst.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the fact that I can just go to my doctor. No, like I said, he's known me since I was like 15. So I walk in there and he's just like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey man, what's up?" He's like, "You feeling good?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, let's do the thing." And he'll just kind of like, we'll do it. And then he's like, "You feel good though? Like everything's all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, typical stuff." He's like, "All right." He's like, "If anything crazy happens, let me know." I'm like, "All right, man, thanks." I mean, it can't be fun.
The colonoscopy, Boris, the procedure itself does not suck because you're out for it and you just kind of wake up and you're like, oh, okay. The lead up to it is the worst.
Yeah, because you got to drink the cocktail and flush it out, right?
You got to clean. Yeah, this is a wild. This is the take care of your body portion of beards that we've never talked about.
Yeah,
for years, but yeah. You got to take care of that stuff. And it's the worst. You can't eat anything. You got to flush the system.
Yeah, you got to basically have to fast, and you got to drink the special cocktail that empties you out.
You got to do it like 36 hours before the procedure. Yeah. And then if you don't schedule it first thing in the morning, you got to wait it out. And it's brutal. And then, but other than that, it is, it's a thing that you should do if you need to do it. Yeah, you should go to the doctor more, guys. Don't be like me. Be like JPJ. Go to the doctor.
I go to the doctor too much, I think. I think if I wake up and like one thing's wrong, I'm like, yep, going to the doctor. Yeah, I'm like, I'd never felt this before.
I only go when it's like, oh, shit, I can't handle it. I got to go.
That's fair. That's
me. That's me.
It is. Well, if one thing you learned, people, here in the first 15 minutes of Beards, is you need to be more responsible than Pluggo.
Be more proactive than Pluggo.
And you need to go to the doctor more than once every 15 years. That's not what you want to be doing. Especially if you are married with children and you have a family, you want to make sure you're feeling
crazy
good,
that
you're healthy.
Pluggo, she goes to the doctor all the time.
As she should, as an adult.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense. And I just go, I don't know.
All right. Well, our guest.
I did have to go to the doctor when I got back from Indianapolis because of the guest you're about to bring on. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I had to separate you two.
You take care.
I had to separate you two on multiple occasions.
I had to go get this.
On multiple occasions.
This is makeup. This is like a foundation.
Listen. It was real. It was real. Almost in the press box, I was like, you guys are going to get us all kicked out of here. Like, you got to stop. Yeah, we are here on business. But yes, the one, the only, Ucchino is here. He is joining us. Welcome in, sir. How are we doing today?
I'm doing good. You guys are, handle business. I stand on business. Don't steal my gimmicks, man. Don't steal my gimmicks, or you pay the price. That's what it is. I'm
surprised you agreed. I'm surprised you agreed to do this.
I don't believe it. I honestly forgot all about that, to be completely honest.
He's like, I'm out of here.
I'm like, someone actually wants me on a show? All right. Yeah, sure. Fine.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I didn't steal anything. Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, you also did credit me, which is, better than some engagement accounts do these days.
That is true. That is true. There are plenty of people that do not do that.
I think we've all been victim of the not getting credited for our work thing. You probably more than most, but I definitely feel it.
Honestly, like, I know that there are a few people who deal with it on a more regular basis than me. Trust me on that one. So,
for sure.
I don't know. Maybe it's the whole SI thing. They're like, maybe we should credit these guys.
That could be it.
It's probably that. It's probably the outlet more than it is me than anything else.
That's fair. You're a gentleman who wears glasses like I.
I think we have the same glasses almost.
They look pretty similar. Pluggo informed us that he went to the eye doctor this week, and it was the first time he had been to the eye doctor in 15 years.
Longer than that. If it's high school.
Longer than that. Sorry, high school, 20 years.
Okay.
Now, as somebody who wears glasses, how does that make you feel?
Well, I might as well be legally blind, so it would be downright irresponsible of me not to go to the eye doctor on a semi-regular basis. I guess my question is, have you had a reason to go to the eye doctor for 15 years? And
I guess I have not. until I went, and they were like, "You should have been coming all the time."
They laughed at him, according to Pluggo. Multiple people laughed.
Multiple
Is this like
people.
a Tom Segura type latent farsightedness type situation here? Like, you know, your eyes worked fine for 15 years, but now they're tired and they just quit. Is it? Is that what this is pretty much?
Well, no. The reason I went is because we get money put in our health savings account through our insurance provider through work, and it's a pretty substantial. It's like $300. So I was like, well, shoot, you know, we could definitely use that. You know, I got kids and they get sick all the time. So I went because it was $10, and the second I sat down, they were like,
like, how are you not blind? Like, you live your life like this?
And I
this
was
is how
like,
you live your life.
We're on this side of the room. Okay, that was your.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen. So were our seats actually on the floor at the Royal Rumble, and I just couldn't see? Is that what happened?
No, actually, quite the opposite. We might as well have been outside of the stadium.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were on the roof. We were on the roof.
Bird's eye view.
Listen, I just, you know, it's not something I go. We got Spencer asking, Rick, do you recommend going to a doctor at roller coaster? Spencer in this roller coaster, man,
he won't let it die. Lives forever.
Hey, look, Spencer, if you're gonna be in Vegas in 2 months, we could do the same roller coaster.
I was gonna say you could do the same exact roller coaster.
Same roller coaster, and we'll actually get the photo this time.
Yeah. And then obviously you're wearing a Bengals hat. You're a big Bengals guy. He said, "Do you agree?"
Oh, look at this. It says, watch this. I'm gonna do it. Watch this. It says, "Hey, Rick." Oh, I botched you.
See, now this is why he needs glasses. This is why he needs glasses.
Can't even see.
He doesn't even know where to click anymore. He completely lost it. He can't see anything. He can't see anything.
I actually joked when I got home. I said, "God, Mrs. Pluggo, I hope you're as good looking as I've seen over these last few years." Hopefully.
Yeah, you're gonna put on those glasses, and your whole world's gonna change. It's gonna be something.
It's gonna be a shallow Hal situation.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not.
Good thing she's got a great personality.
What a movie that is.
Divorce is expensive.
What a movie.
I'm kidding. She's gorgeous, but it's gonna be interesting. Right, I don't know. Apparently,
I don't think you've really seen what she's looked like since you've known her. I don't think you've ever seen what she really looks like.
Apparently, this lady, these people, the doctor, the nurse, whatever, they were like, your whole world's gonna change.
Yeah, you're gonna put on those glasses and be like, that's what a tree looks like.
Everything looks good.
Hey, love is blind, and so is Pluggo. It's okay.
There we go. Spencer also says, Rick, do you agree with Joe Burrow that it's a bad thing to be nominated for Comeback Player of the Year twice?
Yeah,
or is it a good thing to have won it?
That is not an award you want to win twice.
Not twice. Once I can give you, but twice.
Yeah. Once, no more devastating injuries that require very rare surgeries for quarterbacks that my guy has to navigate his way through and learn how to throw a football again. We're done with that.
Yeah.
Please spend millions of dollars on guards who can actually freaking block. Thank you very much.
Yeah, 100%. My favorite Comeback Player of the Year award year was when Teddy Bruschi and Steve Smith tied for Comeback Player of the Year, and Steve Smith came back from a broken leg, and Teddy Bruschi came back from a stroke. Tell me how those are the same.
How did DeMar Hamlin not win? That man,
right. That is true.
He actually died.
Yeah,
he genuinely died on the field. I was there. It was traumatic.
Harley Cameron fan, don't you worry. We'll talk about Mr.
Oh, we're going to be talking about that.
Yes, while we're talking football, how did you feel about the Super Bowl? Did you enjoy the outcome or?
Oh,
because you're not exactly the biggest Chiefs fan, being a Bengals guy.
No, I'm not a fan of the Eagles either.
Same.
It's tough, huh?
I feel like a lot of us were in that boat.
I was like many people watching the Super Bowl. I was rooting for my parlay. Unfortunately, I was an idiot and I bet on Saquon Barkley to amass rushing yards against that Chiefs run defense, and they decided, hey, that's the only thing we're gonna stop.
Literally the only thing we're gonna be good at.
Didn't work out well for me, which sucks because I literally hit everything else. Yeah. I hit everything else, including Xavier Worthy, who was the only guy who was worth a damn on the field for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Yeah. No, I was fine with it. I'm a guy who likes parity, unless it's my team, but my team never wins, so I can still hold out hope that Burrow and the boys can go on a run and they'll be the first ones to win 3 in a row, but I'll just take one at this point.
Yeah. I mean, for me, everyone knows I don't like either of those teams. Oh, I don't like either of those teams really that much. I didn't want to see the Chiefs win 3 in a row, just in general. Obviously, being a Patriots fan, I didn't want to deal with those conversations that would happen if they did, and the conversations that already happened when they shouldn't. Huh?
Did you yell at Scott? He said he got banned.
On Tuesday during Firmly WWE, Scott came in the chat boasting Eagles stuff, and I said, Scott, I'll give you one comment. If you make a second one, I'm banning you.
Oh man,
I'm banning you. That's what I said.
Out.
No, here's the thing. My hatred of the Eagles is not due to the players on their team. It's due to the fan base, and that's just kind of how I feel about it. And I've always felt that way. And I didn't want what happened on Sunday for me as a New England Patriots fan. To me, it was a joke. I wasn't going to ban people, Spencer, but I did warn him. I would remove every comment that he did that was pro Eagles. But
I'll say this much real quick. Like my biggest issue with the Super Bowl, honestly, was like as a long suffering sports fan, I have sympathy for long suffering franchises, and neither one of those two franchises have been long suffering, at least not recently. Yeah. Like when the Chiefs won it for like the first time in forever, I was like, oh, great, good for them. Same for the Eagles, great, good for them. Now they're both consistently good, and they have turned to the dark side, right?
And they have ownership that's willing to back up the truck to make it happen. As a Bengals fan, as a former Bengals fan, I know how you feel. Yeah, no, look,
I would absolutely love it if the front office this year would shut a lot of people up, because there's already other GMs and NFL insiders and guys like Colin Cowherd who are barking and saying they're not going to pay these guys. There's no way they can do it. Joe's going to be pissed off. He's going to ask for a trade in 2 years. I would love it if the front office would just shut people up, because they have the cap space to keep T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Trey Hendrickson in town for a long time. They all want to be here. They all want to be here. They have the money to do it. There's no reason not to do it. Get it done.
Yeah. And I kind of like it because Burrow is being very vocal and like putting pressure on the owners, and he's saying we should re-sign T. Higgins and we should re-sign Hendrickson, and then we need to do I like how he's being very.
He's laying the groundwork for when he asked for a trade.
Probably.
But here's the thing.
Not recent.
Here's what I really like about it. Here's what I really, really like about it. He's not only putting pressure on the front office, he's putting pressure on the players.
Yeah.
We've all talked about this. We all want to, make the whatever concessions we need to do to make this possible for the group to stay together. You guys got to come through on your end too.
Yeah, which makes sense. He's kind of putting it out there where he's just going, hey, like, if we want to keep this band together, that we are all saying we want to keep the band together, like, yes, ownership needs to do their part, but if they can't get to number A, but they can get here, you need to do your part if you really mean it. And
there's no reason,
contract too,
And there's no reason for the front office not to keep those guys, because they're all three some of the best at literally the best in the case of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow at their positions. And Joe Burrow's already locked up. But if you don't re-sign those guys, you're going to have to invest either premium draft capital or premium dollars to replace them with no guarantees that the production is going to be the same. So you might as well just go ahead and pay to keep your guys that produce well in your system.
Yeah, I agree. We got some more people.
Way too much common sense already.
I know. We got some people in the chat that just popped in. Auntie Collins popped in. Good to see you. Starius 99 as well. Good to pop in the chat.
Question to answer your question, Starius, because you're new to the chat here. From what I've seen, if you go on Love Wrestling, see on this website right now, there's a 20-minute interview with Ben Oman about that exact question. Not answer it here, but we definitely talked in depth about it. I don't know if he's going to.
Yep, absolutely.
But you'll have to listen to what he has to say, because it's kind of cryptic.
And Auntie Collins coming in with a super chat. Thank you for the super chat. She says, I have no idea what all this means, but love. Thank you.
Sports ball.
Yeah,
we're going to get into the wrestling.
No, we're talking some wrestling now. We're going to get into wrestling.
We can't have Rick on the show and not talk Cincinnati sports. We just can't do it.
Yeah, had to do
it's one of my 18 jobs. So
yeah, it's fair.
And we love we're ball lovers, as they say in the kids say, right?
Whatever you do in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, whatever, dude. I'm good with it.
Apparently, I might be reading those comments wrong. I don't know.
Listen, I am flying high as a sports fan because my baseball team actually spent money for the first time in like 9 years yesterday by signing Alex Bregman. So I am feeling all right. Not saying I love the player. However, they spent money when they've been telling me they were going to spend money every offseason for 5 years and haven't. So bless. All right.
Well,
you know it's sad when
you could not make it in Cincinnati.
No,
we don't even know what money is
listen,
in Cincinnati.
I get it. I get it. But, when you come out and you say things like you're going to go full throttle and you're going to get close to the luxury tax and then you actually cut payroll 2 years in a row, do not lie to me. Do not lie to me. So,
Harley Cameron fan college football is also my favorite. I lost a heartbreaker today in year 9 of my dynasty to Tennessee on the road.
That's unfortunate.
But we're not going to get into that because that's a lot. But yeah, love me. Yeah, we got lots of people hanging in the chat. Listen, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, whatever platform you're on. Show us some love so that we can keep doing this thing until the wheels fall off or until Spencer fires us, which he hasn't yet.
Yeah,
but it might happen.
Yep, 100%.
We're getting fights in press boxes. We're spending his money. We're riding roller coasters. That's expensive stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, the beard oil alone
the
for
beard
you.
Oil.
I mean that's heavy in the budget, man.
100%.
Which I've never used. I
don't have nearly enough beard for this show. I
know we talked about that in Indianapolis because JPJ had made his way to the front of the line and took off without me, and I was like, "Rick, you're up." Between a beard and goatee,
it's just not a true statement.
That's not how that went. No, him and I were chit chatting, and JPJ kept moving, and we stopped to talk, and then I was like, "Well, I guess we're doing a different gimmick."
Yep, 100%. How we don't have a beard sponsorship, I'll never know.
We have
but we're I feel like that's something that we should just have. But you
can work on that. I think there's some options.
I mean, I feel like we should. How is there not a beard company that wants to deal with this? I mean, I just what?
Maybe we have one and I just haven't seen it.
All right. Last question. Well, one of the last sports questions before we actually start talking about wrestling is Auntie Colin says, "Does loving the Seattle Mariners make me a sports fan or a masochist?"
Can I take this one? One of my really good friends growing up, and I still talk to him to this day, is a Seattle Mariners fan. Yeah. And we've joked for 20 plus years now that if the Seattle Mariners won the World Series, we would get Seattle Mariners World Series tattoos just because I think it's funny. So every year when they get eliminated from playoff contention, I always text him and go, "That tattoo is safe for one more year, my friend." So yeah, I don't know if that makes you a fan. A glutton for punishment, maybe.
I would say so because they were good. They have that young, good pitching staff, and this should have been an offseason where they spent money to get better, and they did not. They've had arguably one of the worst off seasons in the league. They've done
usually the Reds and the Mariners do at least 2 trades by now this offseason.
They've done nothing.
Quiet. They just keep trading their garbage.
There's not a Mike Cameron available for them to deal or
Mike
something.
Cameron, remember him? He was a Red Sox for a year. That was a good time. Harley,
I think he was only a Red for a year.
Yeah. The Harley Cameron fanboy in the chat, he says he loves the Dallas Mavericks. Still?
I'm a Harley Cameron fanboy as well. We're
talking about her tonight too. You still love the Dallas Mavericks? You're not standing outside with the caskets and doing whatever those fans are doing outside the arena?
Oh man, that's right.
Because they traded a 25-year-old generational player Anthony Davis is a good player,
he
but
played
not enough.
He's already
played
out.
2 quarters, and you're getting
the
full
fact that
Anthony
Davis got hurt in his first game is just.
But Luka's fat.
Chef's kiss. It's like you could the trade. Guys, in all honesty, who would have thought that Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble would have been the second biggest surprise of the entire evening of the sports world?
We were sitting in a hotel lobby waiting for our Uber, and I go, "JPJ, holy shit!" And he goes, "What?" I go, "Luka just got traded." He goes, "You're kidding? That's a fake account." I said, "No, that's ESPN." That's what they're crazy.
I was sitting at a red light, because as soon as I got out of Lucas Oil, I drove home, right? A 90-minute drive for me, so I was gone. I wanted to sleep in my own bed that night. I'm sitting at a red light, and I see that. And I'm, flipping through. I skipped an entire red light, green light cycle because I'm just sitting at this intersection with no other cars around, and I'm just like, this isn't real. This is fake. No, are we sure this is real? Oh, damn, it's a yellow. Are we sure this is real? So,
yeah, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, he said it, and that was my exact reaction. I go, no, that's not true. That's bullshit. Like, that's fake.
If he's overweight, then I should not be alive by Dallas Maverick standards.
And then he tells me it was the Lakers, and I threw up. And then after that, I was like, all right. And then I didn't know what to do.
If he's overweight, we need new standards in this.
Yes,
yeah,
literally.
Yeah, there's
and I thought that was like, listen, if you're going to make that trade, I mean, that's whatever, right? That's stupid. It will go down in history as one of the worst trades in the history of time. But that's whatever. But like, I don't like when you make a trade like that and then you start throwing that dirt out there a little bit. Oh, well, you know, the reports come out. Well, the Mavericks thought he was overweight in his condition. Like, it's like, that's kind of like, okay.
He was difficult to work with.
Yeah, like that's like
full
crap. It's like, just,
hi, honey.
Didn't want to put anybody over. Yeah,
exactly. It's like, you know, that part bothers. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I'm a Mavericks fan, I'm bothered by it all, clearly. But like, that part of it bothers me. If you're going to make a move like that, stand by the friggin' move. Stand by the move. Yeah, but it's just throwing the dirt
Wright,
on there.
I know people kind of like view Nick Wright like he's not. Some people like really don't like the guy, but he made an excellent point. He was like, if that is true, if he is bad at conditioning and does not work out, and you're worried about that, you screwed it up either way. Either he's going to go to the team that you just traded him to and have an FU like watch this, become the most crazy workout guy of all time, or you keep him and try to work through that with him while he's still a generational talent. So either way you shook that, you screwed up.
Yeah, and he's going
now he's with LeBron, who's like nature.
Yeah, and LeBron is like known for being like one of the craziest workout guys in the NBA, and he's with him. And if LeBron can break through and get like, you know, and that extended LeBron's career probably by 2 to 3 seasons.
How do you think they told LeBron about the trade, by the way? Do you think they were like, hey, we just want to let you know we traded away Anthony Davis. It wasn't working out, and just let him freak out for about, 2 minutes, all pissed off, swears like, by the way, we got you Luka. And then just see what his react, because that's the way I would have done it. Like I would have fucked with him just a little bit.
Yeah, just like get that first reaction of him being just so pissed, and then you're like, oh, by the way, we got Luka for him, and he's like, oh, all right, we're gonna be in the finals, maybe. All right, great.
Yeah, we don't need that guy.
Yeah, that's okay. But that was a wild night. Yeah, like putting it that way, like we were all like shocked as hell about Jey Uso, and then an hour after the show, it's like, wait a minute, one of the most crazy trades in the history of sport just happened. What is happening?
A literal hold my beer moment. Like the WWE did what? Wait.
Hold on. We got it.
Wait.
They had a tag team specialist win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
No, that is not what happened. Jey Uso's awesome. But we are traditionally a wrestling program.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about shocking news, we can talk about the graphic that we put up. Ricky Starks is in NXT. He was released from his contract, or he finished out his contract on Monday. He's in NXT on Tuesday. Worst kept secret in sports.
So
Ricky Starks wanted to go to WWE. He's now there.
I thought we would be talking about Ricky Starks showing up after Saturday when he showed up at Vengeance Day. That's what I was like. He's going to show up on Vengeance Day, and it's, whether he'll lead that new faction or he'll just show up. And WWE NXT was like, we are not waiting around at all, actually. He's going to be here tomorrow. And took the wrestling world by storm. I think people were expecting him to show up at some point soon, but I did not think anybody thought it would be the very next night on NXT television. And it was quite the moment. It got the whole wrestling community up in a stir on Tuesday.
I loved it.
I did too.
Like you want to keep creating buzz and building momentum for the NXT brand, to be like, hey, look, literally anybody can show up. That's been their mantra. We saw Bayley show up out of nowhere, right? Like anybody can show up at any time. You need to tune into this show. Oh, here's Ricky Starks on a random Tuesday. Like what? 24 hours after he became a free agent?
Yep.
Like maybe it was like pretty close. Yeah,
it was pretty dead on. Yeah.
Here's how close it was, guys. No merch, no music. Couldn't even say his name on television.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know if they could legally do it or not.
Yep.
I would not be surprised if that man hadn't even signed his contract yet, or if it had not even been finished was even
and
fully
the way he
walked
out, the way he walked out with the microphone and kind of looked at, he's like, "Yep, this is." Even he kind of was probably like, "Oh shit, this is happening! Like we're doing this."
It very much felt, and maybe this is exactly what they did. It very much felt like he showed up, said, "All right, well, you know, they came to terms, and they're just like, all right, well, let's get this thing finished up and signed. And like, you want to go out there tonight and say something? Absolutely. Here's a microphone. Go have at it. Like no script. Again, no script, no music, no nothing. No, just I'm here. I'm about to tear this place up. Like we're gonna flip things upside down. Let's go. And absolutely, everybody and their brother knew he was coming to WWE.
Oh, for sure.
AEW knew he was coming to WWE.
Yeah.
That's why they put an extra year on his contract. That's why they picked up the option, was to keep him from going to WWE. Do I agree with what they did with him after that? Hell no. I would have taken a completely different strategy than what they did. But they, for whatever reason, eventually let him go, and now he's here. Where now he wants to be. Good for him.
That's some dirt. What's up, Jose in the chat saying,
hey, Jose.
Between two beards and a goatee. Absolutely. But yeah, so I'm interested now to finally kind of hear, because I always have maintained the stance that, like, I want Ricky Starks to succeed and do what I think he's phenomenal. Go out there, kill it. I want that for him. But I also know that there's two sides to every story, and I can't imagine that Tony Khan and whoever else he has around him are going, we're not putting him on TV. We're not giving him opportunities because we just don't see it. So something else had to have went down where they were just like at odds with each other. So I'm interested to see where that happens, but I'm ultimately super excited for Ricky. I actually was thinking about this today. I'll throw this to both of you guys. Do you slot him right into the main event picture with Oba? Do you go NXT North American Championship? There's a lot of options for him. He could fit in pretty much anywhere, but I think, like, if you wanted to get Oba up to that main roster, you could go Ricky right away. Him and Trick would be fun. Like, where do you go first?
Ethan Page.
Do they do an AEW moment like they did with Cody showed up that one time?
That's the program I would start with, because I think both guys in the microphone, far as at least when they were in AEW, both of them, two of the better ones that were the most underutilized on the mic. I would just give them microphones and let magic happen, honestly. And really kind of showcase what Ricky can do on the microphone. I think Ricky is a 5-tool player. He can do everything. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know, to your point, Pluggo, like, why not use this guy on TV? You picked up his option. Why not use him? What's the mindset there? And that was my thought process. And I'm thinking, I'm going back, right? And I'm trying to put the timeline together, because when the whole CM Punk thing happened, that was September 2023, right?
Yep.
So September 2023, the Punk thing happens. Ricky Starks is in the middle of this feud with CM Punk. We find out from Sean Rossap, Fightful Select, that somewhere in that ballpark, that same time frame, Ricky Starks says, hey, please don't pick up my option next year. So me now finding that out, it kind of makes some sense for what I was thinking, because when CM Punk was out and they built Collision around him, I'm like, okay, give Collision to Ricky Starks, right? Make Ricky the face of Collision. That is his show. Build him up to be your next top guy on Saturday nights. Move him around and eventually work your way up to a world title win. Like, make this guy one of your guys on the show. Why didn't they do that? So if it makes sense for him to go, well, hey, I don't want to be here past April of 2024, that would make some sense too. But also knowing the fact that they have this option that they could have picked up. And by all reports, Ricky was willing to work through it regardless. So you have him for roughly 18 months. Guaranteed you have this man for 18 months. You can either do what you did, which was bench him, or what I would have done in that situation, knowing how talented he is, knowing how the audience was getting behind him, I would have pushed him to the freaking moon and made it to a point where he doesn't want to leave. Because there's nothing like being appreciated, valued, and paid what you're worth, and getting everything that you have earned, not that he wants, but just that he has earned with the hard work that he did. Like, if you gave him that rock star treatment and made him the guy, would he have gone to WWE at the end of his contract? Possibly. That's the gamble you take. But at the same time, Like,
I mean, you look at a guy like MJF.
He
He didn't do that. They did that to MJF, and he stayed at least for another 5. Yeah. So
why take that gamble with MJF, but you don't take that gamble with Ricky Starks? So there's got to be some kind of circumstance. There's got to be something else there where Tony Khan was just like, nope, we're going to pick up his option. We're going to park him on the bench, and he's going to sit out for a year.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. There's a missing piece to that puzzle.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like you said when you first started talking about it, Rick, like that's the thing that stuck out to me. It's like, hey, it is well within your right as the owner of that company and as a businessman to accept that option. It is well within your right, whether he says I don't or not, it is well within your right. But once you accept that option, it comes off as petty to me. It comes off as petty BS when you're going to accept this option and say, okay, you're here with me for another year. And then guess what? I'm never using you. Yeah, you can sit at home. I'm going to pay you, but I'm never going to use you. And you know how talented he got over immediately.
Yeah. And that's
like,
the thing
it's so bizarre.
That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. Right. How much money are you paying him and getting nothing in return? Nothing.
Well, there was that. Real quick, I'll put the super chat up from Great Maker. Perfect 10? You mean like it could be a bowling website? Yeah, but they don't really show, and that's a problem.
Super bad, man.
Thank you for the super chat, Great Maker. I love super bad references. If you super chat any movie quotes that you think we should talk about, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
But there was that point, you brought it up with the CM Punk stuff, where there was that narrative that people were just like wanting out of their contract and then immediately going to WWE. And I think Tony took this weird stance with Ricky where it's like, no, we're not just going to use me as a vehicle to WWE, and I'm not just going to let you out so you can show up there tomorrow, which was weird that he picked Ricky to do it with, considering how good Ricky is, where you could just use him. And he's not going to go out there and sandbag himself, because if his ultimate goal was to be in the WWE, he's going to do his job and be a professional and not screw that up, because the WWE is clearly paying attention. It's just it's just a weird dynamic. Like I just I don't get it.
If I'm paying a guy money, I'm getting something for my return. Like for my investment, I want a return on my investment. If we go out there and we make great television together, and he explodes, and his merch is flying off the table, and the ratings are up, and everything I've invested in him is great, and he ultimately decides to leave after the 18 months that I guaranteed I have him. Hey, at least I got the 18 months of great television, great storytelling, great in-ring action, and whatever return on the investment that I got. You park him on the bench. You costing yourself money, and he still goes to WWE.
Yep.
It's like the more and more I think about it, I'm like, I'm dying to know what it is. It does nothing for us to speculate on it. And Ricky said as much in his interview with Chris Van Vliet. Like, whatever you're using in, it does nothing to speculate, but it's driving me insane.
I wonder how different that interview would have been.
I don't think he. I think.
I bet you there's NBA. I bet you there's something. I don't think they.
It's just Ricky had to have done something crazy to them. Like, we're not going to put this dude on TV. But I mean, we could dwell on that forever. But it is one of the greatest mysteries in wrestling. Like when he showed up at GCW, I was like, all right, here we go. And then they were like, nope. But then you see, but it was because it's the reason it's so perplexing is because it's very Ricky Starks specific. Because Megan Bain still works GCW shows. Moxley was working. It's just like it was something with Ricky. He was like, nah, I can't do it. And I don't understand. I got to know.
Yeah.
Tony Khan, tell us what it is.
Jose in the chat. Yeah. Jose in the chat says Ricky and Miro both got shafted this last year, especially with Miro being a company man for AEW when he was the TNT champ. If you give them reasons to stay, they'll be more inclined to consider it. And that kind of speaks to what you said, Rick. Like if he says, okay, you got me for a year, but if you make him a top guy, you make him a big merch seller, you give him good stories, maybe when you readdress the contract situation 6 months from now, his thought process is a little different.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, he wasn't happy with where he was in the company, right? Like he wasn't happy with his positioning. He saw end of 2023 where WWE was at, and look, maybe Ricky was reading the tea leaves there, and he's like, okay, I want to get in while they're hot right now, and maybe we're cooling off here a little bit, or maybe there was something else that completely happened. Who knows? The Miro situation, I don't put that on the same level as Ricky, just for the sense that, you know, you look at, again, and this is secondhand information because I'm going by what, you know, PW Insider and Wrestling Observer and Fightful Select have all said about Miro. It's always been creative differences, right? Like they've never, like, it's not like Miro even, like, I think Miro won like his last 8-10 matches, whatever it was, after he signed his contract extension.
They booked him pretty strong. I mean, he's not, but he had creative differences in WWE as well. Like, there's a track record.
Right, as he should have. An oranges comparison. That's an apples and oranges comparison because they gave him one of the most tired trope gimmicks in WWE history. He still got over, and then when he got over, they're like, "You weren't supposed to get over. What are you doing?
You got over." Bobby Lashley is now going to have a love romance with your wife.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
For sure. Apples and oranges, but at least with Miro, there's some track record there of like he can be.
I'm not saying he's difficult to work with because I don't know. Right. I don't know. But clearly he is a guy who has a vision for what his character should be and what he wants to do on screen. And he feels very passionately about that. That may, you know, if you don't see eye to eye with the booker, that's going to be a hard relationship to navigate. And clearly it was, to the point where Miro was under contract through 2026, 2027, whatever it was. Signed a 4 or 5 year extension in 2022, wrestled 8 matches, and now he's a free agent, and he'll probably be on Raw on Monday.
Will he be able to handle? Will that booker on Monday give him the creative?
I mean, Rusev was a Triple H guy, like NXT. Like, I think for guys like him and guy like, you know, another one that got released on Monday or was, you know, with Malachi Black, Aleister Black, I think with those two in particular, they came up in NXT Black and Gold. They started in NXT, which was Triple H down there. Now Triple H is running the main show. I have to think that both those guys would be very okay with going back to work for Triple H because he treated them with so well when they were with him in NXT.
I don't know about Miro. Like, I don't know, but by all accounts, from everything I've heard, I've read, Triple H is a big Aleister Black guy. I think that's signed, sealed, delivered. I think Aleister will be on Friday Night SmackDown. I don't know if he'll be working with Zelina, but the fact that Zelina was just randomly moved over to SmackDown in the transfer window, away from the LWO, maybe to give her a nice little singles push finally. But also it just seemed a little weird that they would just do that randomly and split her off from the LWO. So I'm just reading tea leaves here. I think he'll be on SmackDown. I think he'll be heavily pushed. I think he'll be wrestling for world championships by this time next year. I really do.
Yeah,
I don't know about Miro, but I know this: if they bring him back, he needs to be Miro. They need to Woken his broken, because whatever the Redeemer character, whatever they want to call it, God's greatest champ, that is his gimmick. That works. That is a money gimmick, and he was spectacular at it. That's what they need to do in WWE with him. Like
Jose
when they brought over Broken Mac Hardy and made him Woken, that's exactly what they need to do with Miro.
Yeah,
exactly. What
Jose is saying that he could see. He says, I don't see Miro back in WWE right away. I could see him deterring to a TNA or something like that, honestly. It could. I think he could do well in Japan if he wanted to go to New Japan for a run. He would do excellent.
That would be my thing. I think
if
he doesn't go to WWE,
Miro and Bloodsport.
Yeah. I mean, Miro in a Bloodsport match would be fun, obviously. That would fit. But, like, I think, you want him to go – if he doesn't go to WWE, like, if he were to show up in New Japan and end up in, like, a G1 or something like that, or just be a monster heavyweight in New Japan for 6 months, a year, like, that could work really well for him. I think that could go really well.
Acting, too. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
He signed with a talent agency to pursue outside projects. So who says his next time we see him on a screen is in a wrestling ring? Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? As far as the original, with Ricky, I mean, as far as Ricky goes, and I thought that, they've been teasing this new faction in NXT, and we're going to talk about Vengeance Day because that is Saturday. They've been teasing this new faction on NXT that is going to be, for all intent, like, it seems like they're going to debut on Vengeance Day. They've been teasing it, and they haven't really shown the faces of these guys, but there are names floating out there that people think are going to be these guys. And to me, with the names that were surfaced, I was like, none of those names feel like a guy that could lead a group on and I get it, it's NXT, it's for newer, I get it. But Ricky Starks to me stuck out as, well, if they bring in Ricky Starks and he's got this crew behind him and he's the new one of the faces of the brand, but he's got these henchmen or these guys behind him. And like Ricky Starks is a guy that's big enough to lead that group. But now seeing what they did on Tuesday, I don't know. I'm kind of just like, all right, do they just let Ricky be Ricky and just let him do his thing and he's by himself, right? That's what you do, probably.
No,
after that reaction.
I don't. I'm just letting Ricky do his thing. Like this is. I do not expect this to
run,
be
Ricky, run, baby.
I don't expect this to be an extended stay in NXT.
If it wasn't WrestleMania season, I wouldn't have been shocked if he would have debuted on the main roster.
He's main roster WrestleMania season. Yeah, he's main roster ready now.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Like he is main roster ready, but it's quite a place to start NXT for him, right? Like you've got a lot going on in the main roster. It's very heavy.
Lost in the sauce is what he would be.
Yeah,
on the main roster.
And
right
then,
now,
you could sit him in NXT for the next 6 months to a year. Let him just let him be Ricky, like you said, and then just slot him into the main roster at some point. Because I was thinking about that too. Like not because it's not necessarily a bad thing, but the main roster WWE upper mid card to mid card right now is like bonkers.
Yeah,
it's loaded. You could go 10 different ways and we'd all be like, that makes sense. So you might lose Ricky a little bit there. So let him, because the men's division in NXT is a little weak.
Like I would.
I don't want to say weak. Weak is bad, but it's definitely
they have top guys, but there's not a lot of depth.
Yeah, it's like
I don't think there's a lot of depth at the top.
Yeah, you're not
That's
as
a better way to put it,
especially compared to the women's division where it is right now, where they're about to lose Roxanne Perez and they're not even going to miss beat.
No, they're getting Jordan Grace, and I think that's a very similar thing to Ricky Starks. If it wasn't WrestleMania season, I could have seen Jordan Grace immediately on the main roster.
And the numbers are up, so it shows that it's working too. Their numbers are up across the board in ratings.
Yeah.
Why not just make NXT? Because you're doing all this, tough enough legends and future great stuff. You're doing all that. You're doing
and
the
they
show
got that Evolve. I think that Evolve show is really.
So just make NXT no longer developmental, just make it a brand.
I mean, I think that's what that whole Evolve show is for, because I think they're going to make NXT as a third kind of brand again, and that Evolve show is going to end up being the true developmental show or developmental thing in the company, because I think they are treating NXT like, it is developmental to an extent, but it's not, it's its own thing,
I don't know. I don't know if I We'll see, right? I think there will be signs that they do that. I think they're testing the waters for that. I think you're seeing them with the trips that they're taking and the big shows that they're doing in other cities. They're seeing how big of a draw, NXT can be out on the road. They're still booking, the smaller venues right now, like the show that they are going to be having in Cincinnati here in little less than 2 weeks. On the 25th, the venue they booked was the same one that AEW held Maximum Carnage in. So we're talking about 1,000 seats roughly that they're going to be able to sell. So they're still booking some of the smaller venues right now, but I think they're testing it out. I don't know if NXT ever gets up to that. What Survivor Series was that? 2018, 2019 Survivor Series year. I don't know if they get back up to that point.
Where they swept Survivor Series or what?
Right?
I think
outside of Roman Reigns. Yeah.
I was going to say Roman was the only non-NXT person that won. Yeah.
Yeah. But even then, Keith Lee looked like him.
Oh, man.
I don't know if they get to that point, but yeah, the success of that brand, especially with Shawn Michaels cooking down there,
Chef
future's bright, obviously.
Yeah.
All three brands are right now.
I would agree.
Welcome into the chat, Ryan Sullivan. Yes, we did. But
yes, we did.
We probably have some things
you
want to say about your Philadelphia Eagles. And the best way to get JPJ to do that is to send a super chat.
Lovely. Thank you for that. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. All right. So we've been talking NXT here. So why don't we get right into it? Why don't we get right into it? Because we have Saturday evening. Very crowded day on Saturday. We got the NBA stuff. We got Grand Slam. We got Vengeance. Saturday is just a very crowded evening in the sports world and sports entertainment world. We'll talk about Grand Slam, obviously, but let's start with NXT since we've been here basically the majority of the time we've been chatting. So we have Vengeance Day taking place from Washington, D.C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches on the card we have here.
Wow.
And we will. I know, right? It's usually 5. 5's usually but yeah, we're doing 6 matches. The first one I have listed here.
It is a strap match.
Well, that's the next one we'll talk about. Yeah, but the first one I have is a grudge match. It is Ethan Page going one-on-one with Javon Evans. We saw that Ethan Page, did the chair spot on Javon's teeth, and they all got knocked out. His jaw was broken, wired shut. He got somewhat cleared by a doctor this week, where the doctor was like, if he wants to, like, he'll be okay. But I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't advise it, but if he wants to, it's good. And Javon convinced Ava. So this match is happening.
Are we sure that doctor is not a doctor that runs out of like a storage unit?
Maybe. I don't know.
He was just giving me the vibes like, I mean, he could hurt himself, but I don't know. Like, I guess he's cleared.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely seems like a kind of doctor you could get weed from just by saying that.
Yeah. He's like, just tell me something hurts. Here you go.
Yeah, there you go.
He's got the prescription pre-written before you even walk in.
Yeah. Oh, do you need a couple for your friends? Sure, my guy. Here you go.
Yeah. Jose says CVS Minute Clinic doctor. CVS Minute Clinic doctor.
Even Ava had a look on her face like, am I buying this right now? Like,
but they made Javon Evans sign a waiver as well. That was part of it. He signed a waiver, so anything that happens to him, WWE is not liable for. We've seen, obviously, this was kind of the start because Ethan Page was kind of going through, like, he was like depressed for a few weeks because he lost, and this kind of turned him into this really like sadistic version of Ethan Page, which I've been liking. I mean, I like everything Ethan Page does. I'm a big Ethan Page guy, but I've really been liking it. Javon Evans has to win this match, right?
No,
not has to, but like, do we think I think he's gonna, right?
I think he will because of Ricky Starks. And that kicks off the Ethan Page.
Ooh.
All right.
I was going to ask, where do we see Ricky interject himself in Vengeance Day? And you're saying here's the move.
That's what I would do personally. But that's
go ahead.
I'm trying to manifest it more than anything. That's the direction I would go. I want to see. I think there's a great story you could tell with Ethan Page and him being like, you just had to ride my coattails. You just had to follow me over here to the promised land. You have to come here and try to steal my spot and destroy what I was built for myself. Like there's a whole lot, and just Ricky just be like, shut up, bitch. Like,
there's a reason they didn't let me go and they let you walk out the door.
That'd be fun. They could do.
I can't wait for him to say there's a reason I've been on the shelf for a year.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
At what point do you think that happens? Like Javon is getting just absolutely manhandled by Ethan. He's about to do something crazy, and Ricky's music. If he has music at that point,
I could see like a post-match thing. Maybe Javon does get the victory, and then Ethan Page snaps, and he's trying to do the thing again with the chair and the teeth. He's trying to do it again, and then Ricky Starks is the guy that comes down to kind of save the day. You could do that, do it that way, maybe.
We just get a deaf rebel, Ricky.
No, Louise. Let's hope not.
Because how do you know who it is unless you're shouting something in the opening bar?
Yeah. Look. We were just at the Royal Rumble, and this is 2 years in a row now. And obviously, I wasn't at the Royal Rumble last year. I was at this one. This is 2 years in a row where because the entrance themes are so generic, a lot of them, there's like delayed reactions for people because the buzzer hits and not everybody knows who the hell is coming out because of the certain songs. And then when they see the name then they're like, oh, all right, yeah. And then everyone gets excited.
Whoever's idea it was to debut that god-awful new Finn Balor.
Oh, Jose literally just said it as you exactly said it in the chat. You guys were on the same wavelength.
When that man came down and you could hear a pin drop, I'm like, somebody needs to be fired.
Yeah,
like,
what are you doing?
Immediately. Like, first off, whoever created that dumbass song, plus whoever greenlit that dumbass song for him, and then whoever's bright idea it was to put it at the Royal Frickin' Rumble.
You do realize that Finn Balor's been dressing like a SoundCloud rapper lately, so it's probably his own beat.
I mean,
maybe
if it is,
the clubhouse has got a studio in it, Rick.
If it is, all right. You know what? It ain't for me. All right. You know, like that's fine. But I don't know. I have questions. I feel strongly about it. Clearly. It was bad.
Yeah,
it was. Bad for him. And
then,
and then the dude got dropped on the floor because Braun Strowman didn't catch him.
And then Braun Strowman got pissed and walked off. Like he was angry.
Like it was like angry because he screwed something up.
I hope so. I hope he was pissed at himself, and that's what he was pissed at.
He just leaves Finn on the ground.
Yeah, like he missed Finn, and then you see Braun just go like, damn, he just gets pissed.
Because then Damien comes out a few spots later, and we're like, that's probably what was supposed to happen.
I was like, I don't know what was supposed to happen there. But
here's my thing. What would Braun have done had he caught Finn? Is he just going to place him back in the ring like as a good
No, I think it was like going to be a bump where he was going to catch him and they were going to get that was the thought that I had.
Maybe.
Unless it really was that Finn wasn't supposed to be eliminated then and it was a mess up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but Braun Strowman was very pissed off.
Yeah,
What's up, Anthony? Welcome to the chat.
There were a lot of dudes mad in that Royal Rumble.
Yeah, dude, there was a lot of stuff going on in that one.
I am very happy to see that Drew in LA have just kind of watched whatever it was.
I love the promo that LA Knight did on SmackDown. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved when he was being serious about like the men with the emotions thing. I thought that was very well done. And I love how he turned that into still making fun of Drew about it. And then I loved at the end that one line, like, oh, wait, I got to get my stuff. And they showed Drew and he's just immediately like,
I loved the meme that Drew sent with the guy pulling down the like tattoo reveal, and it's like, oh, look at this guy got a tattoo of all of LA Knight's championship wins.
Look, if the rumors about Drew's WrestleMania plans are being reevaluated are true, I would not be surprised to see them lean into this and steer.
I think they should. Yeah, because the rumor was him and Priest were going to be the main one, right?
Right,
and that's what it was. But
if that's the case, do Priest and Black. Call it a day.
I'd be okay with that. But I think you can really lean into the LA Knight Drew thing and really make that work. I think both guys, from their reactions and the way that went on Friday, I feel like both guys would be into it too. Like they'd be really, I think it could go.
I mean, I've talked to Drew about this on multiple occasions. Like if you give him something that he is one, passionate about, two, that's based in truth and he can really kind of sink his teeth into, that's where he thrives. So if there's actually like a legitimate thing there where, there's some kind of real life issue he has with LA Knight, even if it's small, he can grow that seed into a freaking sunflower, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the direction they go.
Yep. All right. We do have a strap match, Pluggo. We got a strap match. It is
good old
Trick,
strap match.
It is Trick Williams going up against Eddie Thorpe. We saw both these individuals lose on the triple threat to Obafemi. And they seem to be feuding. Eddie attacked Trick a couple weeks ago with the strap. We have a strap match. I mean, I love Trick Williams. I'm a big Trick Williams guy. I thought he was going to be in the Rumble. I was kind of shocked that he wasn't. Eddie Thorpe, I think, for me, is kind of, I don't really vibe with Eddie Thorpe a ton. I did like the thing they did with him kind of weaseling his way into the championship match a little while ago. I thought that was a very smart thing for them to do.
Isn't he an actual DJ? Maybe he made Finn Balor's song.
Maybe. I think that was his first shtick, right? In NXT, he was a DJ? Wasn't that his thing?
I think so.
Early on. But either way, I expect this match to be this is the match I care about the least on the show, unfortunately. But I am expecting, oddly enough, I think Eddie Thorpe's going to win this match. I think Eddie Thorpe's going to pull it out. I think Trick, for me, I feel like Trick is on the main roster after WrestleMania. I could be crazy, but I feel like he's a main roster caliber guy after WrestleMania. I feel like if he would have come out at the Rumble, I feel like he would have had one of the biggest pops of the night. I feel like everybody would have been screaming, whoop that Trick. I feel like he's that guy. When they've shown him on SmackDown, when he was the champ, he would get good receptions. I think he's a guy that could be on the main roster sooner than later. And I expect this to be one of his last big matches on NXT, to be honest with you.
Now, Rick, you have a really good opportunity here to run the gimmick and just to say, hey, Ricky Starks is going to save Trick.
No, I was just gonna start saying this match to me is literally whoop that trick. Like that's what this match is. You know, it's
just to get the pop and get the crowd hyped and get Booker T into it. Yeah. I mean, maybe you see a swan song with Trick at like Stand and Deliver based on what you said. Maybe you get a Stand and Deliver match and a farewell there. But yeah, I mean, this match. There's not much to it. I don't know why it's a strap match.
So here's my only thing, right? I think NXT needs Trick more than Trick needs NXT. So that's why
probably true.
I feel like he's going to be there a little bit longer.
That's probably true.
Because I feel more like Ricky and Ethan are gone after WrestleMania. So if you take take them out of the equation, you know, it's kind of like Bayley when the other 4 horsewomen were brought up to the main roster and Bayley was left back because they needed somebody down there. I think that's kind of what I think that's.
I could see that. That makes sense to me. I could see that being the case.
And then I still think he can work on too, right?
Yeah.
Like so.
Of course,
Trick's rise has been amazing. Like he came, you know, from just kind of being in the shadows of Carmelo to being a main event player on NXT. Like he could, you know, maybe he gets lost again. We'll talk at the main roster. Maybe he gets lost there. He can just continue to thrive down at NXT until they're absolutely ready to bring him up.
I mean, look where Melo's at right now. Like,
yeah. You know, it's like.
Like I still firmly believe they have big plans for Melo down the line, but Melo's not exactly getting the Braun Breaker treatment like I think he should be getting.
I agree.
So, but you know, he's still on TV, still getting featured. They got stuff for him to do. He's still putting on great performances. I would just like to see some bigger things for him. I'd like to see bigger things for him. Like I don't see him on WrestleMania this year, right now. Like I just don't. That's where I know. That's where I don't get that vibe from him right now.
Yeah, and
unless
I feel
it's like the SmackDown night before Battle Royal type stuff. Like that's where I feel like he's at right now. Like he's on the same playing field as Andrade right now, which is fitting because the most work that they did was together, right? Yeah. So it's
that
like
Best of 7 was fun.
It was, and unfortunately, it didn't really help either one of them a whole lot.
It's unfortunate. I'm a big Carmelo guy. Obviously, he's a local guy to me. I've watched him even before he was in WWE.
From Worcester, right?
Yep. He was Christian Casanova was his name around these parts. He is very good.
I like that better than Carmelo Hayes, actually.
Yeah, he is as good as he tells you he is. He is that good. He is that good. We were in the media junket with him. That's a guy that just gets it, man. He walks in the room. He gets it. He understands the assignment. He talks to everybody. He does, like, you know, if there's certain people that want him to do a certain little thing, he's always down for it. He's nice to everybody. He's just a guy that gets it, man. I do think there will be big things.
Too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a baseball player. Yeah, very good baseball player.
I'm remembering everything he told me in his first WrestleMania press junket. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to remember back that conversation.
So the local
Rick's like, I got it all in there somewhere. It takes me a minute.
The local
I don't remember much, so what I do remember, I try to flaunt.
Yeah, the local Massachusetts independent around here is Chaotic Wrestling, and they're like the biggest one. And I was actually in the building when he won his first ever Chaotic World Heavyweight Championship as Christian Casanova. It was quite a time. We have ourselves an NXT Tag Team Championship match. We had a 3-way on Tuesday. It was Hank and Tank. It was the No Quarter Catch Crew, and then it was Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura. And Josh Briggs and Inamura won, and so they are challenging Fraxium for the tag team titles on Vengeance Day. To me, this is a no-brainer. Fraxium easily will retain this. I think this is a throwaway, as much as the throwaway can be. I don't know why you break up Josh Briggs and what was the other guy's name? Brooks Jensen, just to throw Josh Briggs in another tag team. What was the point of that? Now, I know Jensen is doing other things with Sean Spears now, and that turned into a major angle on Tuesday and everything.
Michaels cooks, but sometimes
I get it.
Sometimes you burn the buns. You don't always make a perfect meal.
You had Briggs and Jensen, and they were fine. They weren't great, but they were fine. You break them up to go solo, and then 4 months later, Briggs is just teaming with somebody else. It makes no sense. But yeah, this is one
of those things where the team just, you know, naturally developed, and that wasn't the direction that they were planning to go.
Maybe. You know? Yeah, I guess.
Is this one of those matches that we're like, we look at it and we go, it seems like a plug and play for Fraxium to have a match, but then we're going to watch it and we're going to be like, holy shit, that was a really solid.
Yeah, it's going to rule.
Oh, no,
Fraxium's the best tag team in the world.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be an awesome match, but I'm just not vibing with this. Like, they're not more like Briggs is using it for himself. He's been trying to find a partner.
Yeah, look, they're not dropping the tag team titles until they face the Hardys. Like,
it's a vibe I get. It's a vibe.
I mean, we saw that face to face on TNA this week. Like, the Hardys are coming. Like, it's happening.
Well, and Dustin in the chat, he says, with Fraxium being on TNA recently, do you see anyone from TNA showing up during this match or on the show? Like, do you think maybe if Fraxium wins, do we hear the Hardy Boys music and they show up on the ramp and then we know, like,
awesome
this is happening.
Match.
This is happening, or or is it maybe we get that down? Like, do you think that could happen?
Is that too far out? Stand and Delivers, like, because it's going to be the weekend of Mania.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon.
There's got to be something else in between that for NXT, right? Maybe not.
I don't think so. No, I think we're.
No, they're doing a roadblock. They're doing a roadblock.
Is that what they're doing?
Is that in March?
Yeah, they're doing a road. So there's a roadblock in March, so they could build. But I don't think you do Hardys and Fraxium.
No, that's the Mania weekend match. If you're doing that, that's.
But is it too early to do the Hardys like showing up at Vengeance Day and starting that program because it's so far out it might lose a little bit? Do it at Roadblock.
I mean,
or if there's some TNA.
I mean, we're talking about WWE where they're teasing WrestleMania matches out a year ahead of time.
No, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. That would be cool.
Like
I don't think we see the Hardys this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know. If you see the Hardys this weekend, you're gonna go, I want it now. I don't know.
I'm gonna manifest it. I'm gonna manifest it. Hardys show up in Cincinnati. That's what I'm.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I like that. All right. As we continue along, we have an NXT Women's North American Championship match.
Stephanie McCurr done.
Yeah. Done. Yeah. By the way, I looked at the betting. I looked at the betting odds and bet online.
Is this the largest favorite of the night? Has to be.
This is one of them. But like, none of the lines, like they're all gaps. There's no like, oh, this is a pick 'em. It's a very favorite heavy pay-per-view.
It is Fallon Henley defending against Stephanie McCurr. I agree with Rick immediately. There's really no debate about this. To me, it would be an utter shock if Stephanie McCurr did not win this match.
It would be more shocking than her losing to Shotzi. No disrespect to Shotzi, but I'm like, did not see that coming. No. This is Stephanie McCurr. I think after this weekend, it's going to be very, very clear who runs the NXT women's division. And one of those women is Stephanie McCurr. Yeah. She has just her presentation, her work so far in NXT has been top notch. She just has this aura, this presence about her that's just impressive. Like just her walking down to the ring at the Royal Rumble, like fans were just like, "Oh shit's about to go down." Yeah. Like she just captures your attention immediately. That was a very, very good get for Shawn Michaels in WWE.
Like the standoff they had Tuesday, with Julia
in the back,
she's like, "This is just once I win this North American title, there's only one place to go." And it's like, oh, this.
I mean, that's
women's division is just going to be on lock for however long they want to do it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We then have the NXT. You just mentioned Julia. We have the NXT Women's Championship. It was originally a triple threat. It was supposed to be Julia versus Bayley versus Roxanne Perez, but because of the events that happened on Tuesday, where we actually saw it was Bayley versus Cora Jade, we saw Roxanne come out to the old Bayley music, wearing her old
so good.
Amazing. And there was some distraction, and Cora Jade actually got a victory over Bayley on NXT. And then that led to Ava adding Cora Jade to this match. So it is now a fatal four-way between Julia, Bayley, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade. I think this should be a very, very good match. I think this is Roxanne Perez's swan song in NXT. I think this will be her last match. I do see her working Bayley at Mania one-on-one. I feel like that's the route.
I hope it'd be
incredible if they did that. I hope
there's room for it.
Yeah, I do too.
The Royal Rumble performance for Roxanne gives me hope that they got big things on the horizon. Like they don't they don't give an NXT superstar the record.
108 minutes or something like that.
An hour and 7. It was an hour and 7 minutes.
108 minutes. I can't speak. It's I know what you're saying. That's what I meant. I don't know how to read.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have glasses.
So it was 67 minutes. It was an hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long time.
She breaks Bailey's record, right, from the same position that Bailey entered the match the year prior, which I thought was a nice little touch. Yep. She finishes second, right? Like she eliminates Julia from the match, so there's her little receipt for losing the NXT Women's Championship. Like they did everything perfect with Roxanne Perez, other than she should have been the one that eliminated Bailey, and I'll die.
I thought she should have eliminated Bailey.
Like that was a slam dunk. It just made too much sense. So of course they had Nikki Bella toss Bailey, but whatever. Anywho, nearly flawless booking as far as Roxanne is concerned, and I think nearly flawless booking as far as like getting her up on the main roster, giving her more than a cup of coffee. We're seeing her on Raw. We're seeing her on SmackDown. She's in Indianapolis for the Royal Rumble. She's going to be in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I was going to say she's going to be in a qualifying match for the Chamber that I expect her to win, actually, I think.
Yes, so she's going to be in Toronto for the Elimination Chamber. Like, there are big things ahead for Roxanne Perez as a member, if I had to guess, the Raw roster. She's not going to win. It would not surprise me if she's the one that goes out on her back and does the traditional see you later, bye kind of thing. But maybe they don't do that just because she does have an Elimination Chamber qualifying match coming up and hopefully a WrestleMania match with Bailey. I just don't know if they got room for it, man. I don't know.
I mean, it's 2 nights. You should have
room. But how many championship matches? Like what titles are being left on the sideline, right? Yeah. For like, if you have, this goes for the men too. If you have a singles match that is not involved in a championship, they love you. Like they love you enough to put you on that show because they think you're important enough to be on there.
Yep.
I mean, you're already talking about 4 World Heavyweight Championship matches. You've got 4 mid-card championships now with Intercontinentals in the United States. You could do 3 tag team championship matches if you really wanted to. I'm already at 11, guys. I'm at 11 matches on the card. If you put every championship on the line outside of the speed titles. All right, that gives you 5.
Yeah,
at max 5 more matches.
Yeah,
I'm hopeful, but I just don't know. Like, I just don't know. Not everybody makes the Mania card. I love it if Bailey and Roxanne were there. Maybe they get bumped to Stand and Deliver. I would hate that. I don't know. But that's the direction I hope that they're going. At the very least, maybe they get put in like a multi-women match for the Intercontinental title or something.
Well, Spencer in the chat says that Roxanne costs Bailey after Bailey wrestles Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. That's what he's saying in the chat.
You know, it would be epic if Roxanne Perez shows up tomorrow at the Celebrity All-Star game and plays for the other team. Just kick somebody out. Like, I don't know who you are.
I would know. I want her to attack Bailey.
I was going to say, just attack her, take her out.
She's out in the court.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to set up.
Get a rabid fan attacking Bailey, and it's Roxanne. Just takes her out.
Roxanne Perez
takes her out. That'd be hilarious.
Or no, what you do is you have a mascot attack her, and then the mascot unveils the head, and it's Roxanne, right?
That would be amazing.
That'd be brilliant.
Before we move on, I'm going to give Bailey her flowers because that woman is everywhere.
She's my goat. She is.
She has. I don't think she's missed a show in a month, and I'm talking NXT, Raw, SmackDown. She's playing basketball. Legend.
She is.
She'll take a break. They'll do an injury angle, and they'll take a break, and I'll miss her in Cincinnati because just screw my luck. Like that's what it'll end up being. That's what it'll end up being.
I love Bailey. She is my favorite.
I hope they do. I hope that they run this angle with ESPN. I hope
that would be amazing. That would be amazing if they actually found a way to do that. I won't hold my breath, but that would be.
It's the Celebrity All-Star game. I mean, come on, you can do whatever the hell you want.
It's true. That would be incredible.
I mean, they've done weirder stuff, right?
I agree.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Miz played in the thing.
He did
last year, the year before.
No, it was 2 years ago, and he almost won the damn thing.
Yeah, he was good.
He caught a half-court pass over DK Metcalf.
That's right, and he just missed it, by a 10th of a second or something.
Yeah, exactly. He drained the shot that would have won the game, but he just missed the clock by like a fraction of a second.
Unbelievable.
But the actual match itself, by the way, Julia is retaining.
Yes, I would agree.
I think Cora's a wild card being added into that. If you wanted to do a shock, you would have Cora win. I think she's the one that makes sense. I think she'll be NXT Women's Champion one day. I don't think it'll be this weekend. I think this is tailor-made for Julia to retain.
Yeah, I actually see Julia and Cora Jade potentially being the one-on-one match for the title at the stand as we approach. I know Julia and Stephanie is the big-time match, but I think they're both going to be champions. And I know Jose just said in the chat, because of the TNA stuff, Masha Slamovich, who Cora's been messing with, both in TNA. We saw her in the NXT crowd.
Yeah. I think that's the match that Cora has is for the TNA Knockouts title.
And Masha's busy this weekend. She's in the J Cup.
Is that what she's doing?
Yeah.
So
I don't know where it's in. I don't know exactly where it's at. It's probably, if it's close, it might, maybe they do something, but I know she's got I think she's dropping the J Cup title this weekend for sure.
So Stand and Deliver, you do Cora versus Masha for the TNA Knockouts title, and then you do Stephanie versus Julia title for title, and you get the Keith Lee double champ pose off at the end of the show.
I wouldn't be opposed to that, because that is the match. Jose just throws Jordan Grace's name out there, though. Like, Jordan Grace, if she's showing up at NXT, would obviously, you would think, be involved in the stand. Like Jordan Grace versus Julia, that could be,
as long as they defend the double champ and don't just, I'm going to relinquish this one and we're going to have a tournament.
But that's a good point.
I hated that with Keith Lee, because I was like, oh, that makes that NXT North American Championship. So
yeah, maybe they don't go that route, because Julia did eliminate Jordan from the Royal Rumble, so maybe that was catalyst or something for her to show up there. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But look, you don't have to hot shot Jordan Grace right into the
that's true.
title picture. She could wrestle Jada Parker. There's a lot of different directions they could go there.
100%. I mean, Zarya, you could do a lot of things. You could do a lot of things. Zarya is going to be the biggest heel in NXT in like the next 2 to 3. Like, they're already teasing it. 100% going to be the monster heel of NXT.
So Jose
sorry, go ahead, plug it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Jose. No, you're fine. I just said Jose said that Paige vacated the NXT Women's title when she won the Divas title. That I understood. That I get. But with Keith Lee, it was just weird where he's like, I'm the double champ now, but I don't want this belt. I just want it here. Give that back. I want just this.
They always do that with the North American title. Remember when Solo won it?
And it was
and
it was They're just like, and that's what I mean. Like, it was like, it's a newer title at the time, and Keith Lee's just like, not even one time like having to defend it twice on a show. They're just like, here, take it.
It's very
bizarre. Hopefully they come up with something more clever.
I don't know why they had Solo do that either, because it was like,
he didn't actually win it.
Yeah, Solo's on the main roster now, so he's not the NXT North American champion anymore. I was like, what?
But
it was like when Kevin Owens
Dom held it for how long?
Yeah, I was like, Kevin Owens debuted and he was the NXT champion, and he held that he was on the shows every week with that title.
How many times did Becky Lynch defend the NXT Women's Championship on Monday Night Raw?
What are we doing?
4 or 5?
That made no sense.
42 days.
Listen, like I said earlier, he may be a great chef, but everybody screws up once in a while.
Maybe.
So every once in a while, somebody accidentally sets that microwave for 10 minutes when they meant to set it for a minute and burn the popcorn. It happens.
You can't make a cake without breaking a few eggs, right?
That's
right.
True.
That's right.
That is true. Well, we have one more match to chat about here in NXT Vengeance Day. It is the main event, and it is a triple threat match, and it's Oba Femi defending against both members of A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I actually liked the segment they did on Tuesday with the three of these guys. I kind of dug it. But to me, this is another one of those where, like, there's no way in hell Oba Femi ain't winning this one.
A-Town 6 feet down under. Both these
guys.
Yeah.
Now, do you think
they're just digging the graves now? They're done.
Oh, 100%. Now, they've been teasing kind of some dissension, or like, they're not on the same page for a little bit now.
The better part of 2 years.
Yeah. So is this the thing? Is this the thing that is the final
dissension, and it's not just two dudes that just like to one up each other?
It could be like one of those like healthy competition friendships,
like
where they
let me just mess with my best friend and have him get his ass kicked.
And
laugh.
Yeah.
I'd have more respect. Look, if that's what it is, just be honest about what it is.
Yeah,
I'd have more respect for it then. Like,
yeah,
this is that stuff they do with every single damn time. Are the Street Profits gonna break up? Oh, is this the end of DIY? Oh my God, Los Garza, they're fighting. Like, no, stop it.
Yeah,
do this with every tag team. If it's just two dudes who like messing around and just like pull pranks on one another, do it. That gimmick might actually get over.
I agree. I think that gimmick could probably get over, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, I fully
got punked. Woo!
Yeah,
just killed you.
Yeah, I mean, this is
got him. That would be fun. I'm in on that. I grew up on Jackass. I grew up on that stuff. I get it.
I got tons of ideas.
I like it. And like
most of them suck, but
Grayson Waller's like Austin Theory doesn't know that I actually got him set up right now. He's about to enter the locker room, and Obafemi's going to kill him.
Let's see what happens.
Exactly.
There's no way Grayson Waller or Austin Theory walk out of this match.
No
title, not a chance.
There's no way either one of them walk out of this match.
I was going to say,
Oba's
going to murder them both. It's going to literally be, it's going to be nuts.
This might be a glorified squash match. Like
it definitely could be. It definitely could be. And that is your Vengeance Day card. So it's 6 matches. Should be a good show. A few of the matches are pretty, they feel like we already know what's going to happen going into it.
Such a sweetheart. All of the matches are pretty.
Yeah.
Which match do you have any? Which match?
Ethan Evans. Match.
I like. Yeah, Ethan and Javon. I'm into. I think the 4-way with the ladies is going to be really good. I think that's going to be a fun match.
No, they're all going to be good matches. I'm just saying, which one do you go in and go? I have no idea. Like, Javon and Ethan.
Yeah, Javon and Ethan is probably. I mean, I guess the strap match, kinda. It could go either way. I feel like those 2 matches, the only matches that aren't for titles on the show.
Obviously. Yeah, the ones that have no stakes. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they like the ones that have title matches. You already kind of know who's winning those matches. But
Ricky Starks will come out and make
there are a lot of wild cards. We have that faction. They've been teasing things. We got what's Ricky Starks going to do? Is anybody else going to show up? Does Julia win the 4-way and then maybe Jordan Grace shows up and it's the standoff there? Like a thing's going to happen. Or maybe Stephanie Vaquer wins the North American Championship and Jordan Grace shows up for that maybe? Or like, do we have any extra things like that?
Who's somebody on the main roster who ain't doing a whole lot right now who could show up after the you know what?
Oh.
You know what?
Uh-oh.
After Oba wins, Andrade shows up.
Oh wow, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Okay.
Former NXT champion. That would make some sense.
Andrade shows up, does the whole title stare down thing.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that.
What else are they doing with him right now?
Yeah.
Do you think is backstage?
I was going to say, do you think that the Zelina move was made for him, maybe? With their history and how well they worked together before, do you think they could run that back? Maybe.
I wouldn't. Because then she just falls into the same category of she's a manager. Like,
yeah.
I would much rather her just finally stand on her own. And I like the fact that she's eyeing Chelsea's United States Championship.
Yes. That I do like.
She's always been great. Like,
yeah.
In the ring, on the mic. Like she was one of the MVPs as far as like the pandemic era was concerned.
Sure was.
Like the back and forth that they had with her and Drew back in the day, and that was even before Drew really hit his stride on the microphone.
Yep.
Like, and they're both on the same brand again. Hey, let's serve that back up, please.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So now, if we turn our attention, I should say, over to AEW. Personally, I feel like AEW has been on a little bit of an upswing here these last month or two. I know you cover Collision, Rick. I think Collision the last 3 to 4 weeks has been an actually very good show to watch. I had for a long time, it felt like it wasn't even the B show. It was like the C- show. What the hell they were doing over there?
Yeah, it felt like a 2-hour rampage is what it felt.
Yeah. But for the last month or so, it's felt like you're going to miss something if you don't watch Collision. And I think that's what you want.
Yeah, that's the mindset. Like, that's why it really started when Tony did her big reveal.
That was the one. Yeah.
Yep. Tony did her big reveal on the Jacksonville homecoming show. And everybody's like, oh my God.
Everybody lost their mind.
Why'd they do this on Collision? So you'd watch Collision.
Exactly. So next week,
I have hard concept to understand.
Yeah, it's pretty
If you do cool shit on the Saturday show, more people will watch the Saturday show.
Yeah.
Or at least watch it on DVR after.
No, and that's you got to do that stuff. You can't always promote everything because then it becomes like, oh, I already know that was awesome. That was a huge moment. My only issue with this collision this past is there was like 3 or 4 squash matches. I was like,
you mean you didn't need to see Dustin Rhodes squash somebody?
No, I didn't.
You haven't seen enough of him in his career to know what to expect.
The young upstart Dustin Rhodes. I was like, we don't need this, but okay.
I understand why they did it. Clearly, obviously, he fought MJF last night, but like. He's been wrestling for 40 years. I know what Dustin Rhodes can do. I don't need to see him. You're not propping him up for me in a squash match. Like that's not going to change my opinion of Dustin Rhodes.
Jimmy Jobber got a paycheck that night.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I'm no disrespect. I just don't remember what the gentleman's name was.
Who did he face? I can't. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, no, it's cool. But here's the thing. So now we're going into Grand Slam on Saturday, and it feels like there's the discourse of like, one, we have no idea when the show's actually going to happen because the NBA All-Star Weekend.
It's going to start at like midnight.
Let's wrap up that game here, guys.
Yeah, listen,
start at like midnight.
Listen, we don't need to see guys missing 48 dunks that we've never heard of. We need.
I don't even know who's doing the slam dunk. Have they announced the Rock? Like, have they already?
Matt McClung is making a return. I know that.
All right. I don't know any of them.
A rookie out at Stephen Castle is doing it as well, and that's it. I don't know the other two.
Great. I've been watching the NBA All-Star Saturday Night for my whole existence, and that thing has never ended on time. Not once in my life has it ever ended at the time the guide said it was supposed to end.
Cool.
So I am expecting Grand Slam to start no earlier than 11 o'clock at night, but I would probably been saying maybe midnight.
Hey, at least
only brings me to my question: why are they doing this at this time? Why? Because it's going to be pre-recorded because it's in Australia, so the time difference. So they're going to air it after, which they think those people are going to stick around, maybe. But it's like it's such a weird spot to be.
I would have run it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, they have the streaming with Max now. You could just run it, and then if you wanted to re-air it, but you could just run it, and people would be like, okay.
That's the thing that's gonna it's gonna be hard for me, right? Because the spoilers are gonna be out.
Yeah.
Instantly, and I'm one of those curiosity to kill the cat kind of guys where I'm just like, I'm too impatient. Who won?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a little bit of the luster out for me, but that's also because I'm going to be too anxious to know, did they do it? Did they actually have Harley win? Did they actually
win? Let's start right there.
That's where I wanted to start.
Queen. She is the queen.
She's unbelievable. That thing
she's my favorite person in wrestling right now.
That promo, like she is I understand. Look, it's Mercedes. All right. I get it. It's Mercedes. She's got the 4 belts. She's the belt collector. I get it. They have a real chance on Saturday, in my opinion, to really make Harley Cameron. Like, to really, really make her. And, like, she has been organically, this is one of the best stories that AEW has had because it's just been so organic. Like, she's just gotten over on her own by... They're not the same, but I kind of view Harley Cameron the same way I view Chelsea Green. Is like all the stuff that WWE threw Chelsea Green when she first got back, even like the not great stuff. When Chelsea Green was on the screen, she made every minute that she was on the screen count. And when Harley Cameron was with QT Marshall and with Soraya and doing all this crap that was kind of just whatever, whenever she was on the screen, she was the one you remembered. She was the one that made you laugh. She was the one that did the best part of the skit. She was that. And then they've built it up. And the more stuff they've given her, she's just crushed it all. And she learned how to wrestle. And she's pretty okay at it. And
for somebody who has less than 60 career matches, she's phenomenal.
Yeah. And she's like phenomenal.
And she wrestles with no fear. Like her 49th career match was against Mina Shirakawa. She matched her step for step. A woman with literally 10 times the amount of experience as she did. That match will always stick with me as being one of the more impressive things I've seen from somebody of Harley's skill set. And she's only gotten better since then. Mm-hmm. You put her in a hardcore match with Thunder Rosa, doesn't miss a beat. Like she doesn't miss a beat. Like she's only going to continue to get better. I'm genuinely curious to see how she stacks up against Mercedes. I love the comparison to Chelsea because I consider Harley Chelsea Green on steroids in the way that I say that, she has Chelsea's creativity, but then she can add to it because she's such an incredible singer. And oh yeah, she can dance. And oh yeah, she's just as hilarious as Chelsea Green is.
A ventriloquist.
The comedic chops. And then you throw in the ventriloquism, which, by the way, I interviewed Harley Cameron twice within the last couple of months, and I did a whole piece on her early days as a puppeteer. You can check that out on the Takedown on SI. It's a great story. But she's got a lot of great stories, by the way. Look, I'm very. I'm
such a. Yeah, you go ahead.
No, I was go ahead because I think I know where you're going.
I was just gonna say she also. I've said this before a few times. Like she does it in such a creative way too, and she snaps in and out of like the serious and then the funny. And then like the hot girl graps thing, like you look at that at the surface and you go, oh, they're exploiting women. No, she does it in such a clever and smart way where it's not gross and in your, you know what I mean? Like it's not attitude era stuff. She's fantastic. You're right. I think she should win. I don't think she's going to. I wouldn't bet my house on it. But I think there's an opportunity here. If you wanted to make that switch, and then because at some point Mercedes Moné needs to make her way
for the world title.
Go for the world title, right? So I don't know if you do it here in hometown, be a huge pop. She gets one up on maybe and Harley Cameron does not in any way, shape, or form need a year-long reign.
No,
she can an upset. And then you figure it out after.
She could lose it at Revolution in a couple weeks if you needed to. Like, it doesn't matter.
Here's the thing, right? Like, here's the thing. You have a genuine, organically grown babyface that has groundswell, that has great momentum, right? That tremendous video package that aired on Wednesday.
It was incredible.
That had you going from laughing your ass off to, oh, damn, this is a good beat. Let's go. To, oh shit, this is getting real, to let's run through a fucking brick wall in a matter of 2 minutes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She captured all of those emotions. It was a roller coaster over the course of 2 minutes. One of the best promo packages you could put together. She hits her catchphrase at the end of it. The entire crowd is chanting "Feel the Wrath," right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they are on board with this. There is something to be said. And you could talk me into either way. You know, Mercedes winning is the best thing to do, or Harley winning is the best thing to do. Strike while it's hot. You could get me either way. I'm kind of on board. I'm on board with Harley winning. There's something to be said though for rewarding your fans' investment. They've invested in Harley. Give them a reason to justify the investment, even if it's just a brief title run, right? Like.
Yeah.
Who she could lose it at Revolution, and Mercedes could be like, "Listen, that was your hometown. I was on the road. So
I underestimated you. I didn't.
We're in LA now. We're in LA with my people. This is where I thrive." And then she just, something.
I mean, you could do. You don't even have to go back to Mercedes. You can pick up with the Vendetta where you started with Harley Cameron, and she could drop it to Deonna Purrazzo, and they could do a bunch of other different things. But like, there's so many different women on the roster right now. I just don't. I feel like if you keep it with Mercedes, it almost one of two things happens. It squashes Harley's momentum, and she kind of stays right where she's at, and she just goes back to doing. This is like her first real story that anybody's been invested in and she can really sink her teeth into. Yeah. I think a loss might hinder that. Unless they give her just like, the Stephanie Verker treatment at a Forbidden Door where Harley dominates most of the match and Mercedes wins. I think they should do the opposite of that. I think Mercedes should be kicking her ass. And then like, it's the whole Rocky thing where I'm just going to catch you at the end, and Rocky 2 to be correct. I'm going to catch you at the end and I'm going to beat you. So it's just one of those. I don't know, man. I just feel like there is something to be said for rewarding the investment, letting the fans know, yes, this is somebody you should be invested in because she is white hot right now. I don't know where her character goes if she just loses outright, but it's either her story ends or you just do the same exact script that you have done with Private Party and with the Acclaimed, where they have the big match, the entire crowd is behind them, they lose, and then you just end up having them win a few weeks down
and
the road.
with like the Acclaim, they had to work their way back to that moment because that was So and you never know. I really hope that they decide to pull the trigger with her.
I think they should. I think they should.
But
It's got a deep enough women's division. You can do anything you want to right now, but eventually you do have to get Mercedes up to the main. Like here's my thing, right? You either like what's next for Mercedes if she wins? Do you keep running it with Harley for a little bit and then ultimately have Harley win? Because if you're going to have Harley win down the road, you might as well give her the belt in Australia. That's just my thought process on that.
Yep.
Somebody's got to win from Australia this weekend, right?
Who's even ready in the
are you running back Statlander for a third time? Are you throwing Willow in there? Are you bringing up if you're bringing up Athena from Ring of Honor finally? Great, sign me up. Anything short of that, I'm like, let's make somebody. Let's shock the system here. Let's break the status quo because that win does wonders for Harley's career. The first woman to beat Mercedes Moné in AEW. You kidding me? Her first loss.
And it gives Mercedes a little something too. Like if she loses,
how does she bounce back from that?
Right? Yeah, you've got
character development.
If Mercedes wins, everybody's just gonna go, well, that's what we expected.
That was a fun ride. Yeah,
that was fun. Okay. But if Harley wins, we got options.
Yeah, I think like I said, I don't think if Mercedes wins, I don't think it's a wrong decision. Like I don't think you can. I just think they have a real opportunity to really make someone. And she's already in the process of being made. You have a real opportunity to
you guys remember when Jeff Hardy first won the Intercontinental Championship and he beat Triple H?
Yep.
Remember the moment and yes, Matt Hardy helped him, obviously. But that was such a shocking moment. How long did Jeff have that belt? A week?
Yeah, I was gonna say not even 2 weeks, I don't think. Yeah.
But it let you know. It let you know that Jeff was on a trajectory. They saw something in him. There's a reason to stay invested in him. And I think there's something to be said where you could do something similar like that, even if Harley does lose it back to Mercedes at Revolution, or even if Harley loses it to Deonna Purrazzo at Revolution. The fact that Harley Cameron, who 4 months ago, was just walking Saraya down to the ring, and now she's going to be defending a championship against somebody the caliber of Mercedes Moné or Deonna Purrazzo at one of your big pay-per-views. It's enough for people to realize and know, okay, they see something in Harley. They see what we see in Harley. There's a reason for us to stay invested in her. I think whether she has it for 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 hours, whatever, if Christian cashes in on her, whatever the hell it is, right?
You son of a bitch, Rick, I want that now. Christian comes down and goes, this is my moment.
I like what Sean Rossap said. It's like, when are they just going to pivot and have Harley beat John Moxley for the AEW?
Yeah, literally. It's unbelievable.
You just got to do right by this. It's a homegrown star. It's not a WWE person that you sign and you want to strap the rocket to. It's somebody that you built. Got it. I love that for her. I hope they do it. I mean, they've missed the mark.
They've missed the mark so many times, like with a chance to make somebody. It's one of those instances where I understand you practice patience, right? And you don't want to, like Triple H, there are so many times during Roman Reigns' monster title run that he could have hot-shotted it to the hot baby face, right? He could have done it with Jay. He could have done it with Sammy. He could have done it with Drew in his hometown. He could have done it with LA Knight. Like, there's so many, and he stayed the course. I don't know what the course is for Mercedes. I don't. If you have some big grandiose plan down the line for her and defending that title at All in Dallas, okay, fine. You can talk me into it. If you don't have that, there's no reason. There's no reason not to go ahead and pull the trigger on this. It just seems like the perfect storm right now. It's ride the lightning. Yeah. You got it in the bottle right now.
Feel the wrath.
Feel the wrath, damn it.
There you go.
She doesn't want to ride the money train. She wants to drive it.
Tony Khan, you will feel the wrath of the IWC if Harley Cameron does not win this match this weekend.
I think so. I think there's a chance. He does. Yeah,
Tony Khan, he watches the show. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows what's up.
You got to pull that trigger. You got to do it. You got to strike. You got to strike while the iron is hot. The rest of the card, Look, it's a good card. It's a good
There's
card.
more matches on this card.
Yeah, that's the only. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, obviously, we have
two best stories are the women's match.
Yeah. I think the two most intriguing matchups are for both women's titles. But we do have the Brisbane Brawl, which will be Jay White, and I'm not calling him Cope, Adam Copeland, versus the Death Riders, Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. This is a no rules street fight type thing. We did see last night on Dynamite that Moxley finally accepted Adam Copeland's challenge to the world title match at Revolution. Even though I'd rather it be Jay White personally, but that's just me. With that being said, how do you see this one going, Rick? Do you see this, do you think this is one of the ones where Copeland gets the one-up on Moxley before the title match in a few weeks? Or do we think the Death Riders you mentioned stay the course of what we've been seeing, and there's some BS with the numbers game, and they end up getting the victory?
Moxley's winning at Revolution, so Copeland's going to win this weekend by pinning Claudio.
Fair enough.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed how they did this. Because last week Mox is like, I'm not giving you the title shot. It's not happening. And then they booked this tag match.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so the tag match is going to be the way that Cope gets his title shot, because then he can, goad him that way. And then this week they're like, you get your match.
Well, he stole the belt.
Right. But they kind of,
but it's like, don't you dare break my briefcase. I'll do anything if you don't break my briefcase.
Yeah.
Because
that's something Jon Moxley would give a flying F about.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, very bizarre.
Yeah, and I just meant the way that they, because if you give me the big payoff in Australia to give me the match at Revolution, don't give it to me now, because now I kind of look at this match like it doesn't really matter.
I wasn't a fan of the briefcase angle.
Yeah.
I did. I will say this, Cope, and I'll call him, looked like he was having fun with it, though.
Sure he was.
He looked like he genuinely was enjoying himself.
And I hope everybody's enjoying themselves with this, honestly. But for me personally, and I like all the talent involved.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Just something's not clicking for me.
Something's
not clicking.
It's very.
I can't pinpoint it. I don't know what it is.
I would agree. I feel like a lot of people are feeling that way.
Like you said, Jon Moxley is not the type of guy that would be mad about you busting up a briefcase that has a belt in it that he does not care about.
Yeah. He cares about what it symbolizes, not the fact that
it's not the physical title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give a crap about that. He'd be the first one to light the thing on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't break it.
Do you think this leads to a new design for the AEW? Is that what they're doing here? Or is it just going to lead to whoever beats him is just going to unveil the title and happy days are here again, the belt, we can see the belt again? Is that, or do you think this
I don't know. What
are we doing?
I don't think we're getting a death right. I mean, Jon Moxley might as well just carry around a roll of duct tape and call it the AEW World Title.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And I'll ask you before we kind of dive into the other matches real quick on the card. Who do you, as of right now, if you had to put your money on it, who's the guy that gets the belt off of Moxley? Who is that guy?
Darby Allin.
That's still who I think too. We
got months. Of this. Yeah. Darby's got to survive Mount Everest, and then he'll be back and he'll win the title.
Yeah. I'm still leaning towards that too. Although I do feel like, and I know they're obviously, I know Hangman and MJF are heading towards a feud together, which thank you. But I do think the way that Hangman is starting to kind of get these reactions from the crowd again, like he's like a super. And last night you could see him; he was kind of
a lot. They got a lot. AEW's got a lot going in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think MJF is back on track. I think Hangman Adam Page and those two, him together. Hangman's getting back on track. They're slowly turning him back towards the babyface angle, right? That's the whole point of this MJF feud. Everything that Swerve touches turns to gold. Ricochet has been on fire since he showed up. He's the best character work. He's the best character he's ever been. He is somebody who fits perfectly into the AEW system. Tony and Mariah, obviously Harley that we spoke about. We hurt people, hurt business on fire. There's a lot AEW has going for it right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just like the main world title picture just isn't, it ain't working. I don't know what it is. I don't even know how to fix it. I'm not smart enough, but
yeah,
they can still tell great stories and they can still get good stuff going, and they are starting to pick that momentum back up. I'd consider a pivot off of the Death Rider stuff. I would strongly consider it because I think we have enough time, enough track record to go. Like, okay, maybe whatever we're doing, it's not picking up right now,
We
right?
do the beatdown at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
And you can't have like the way they started where it was like unstoppable, but now they're just chicken shit heels. And you look at a guy like John Moxley and you just go, he's not that guy.
And I think that might be what my problem with it is. It's like the second they started having Mox like
run away,
ducking away and running away and hiding behind Marina, it's like, are you trying to be Triple H in China? Is that what you're going for? Because that's not who Moxley has ever been.
No.
Has ever been.
Just go out, just go take your, even if you lose the fight, right? The brawl, you lose the brawl, at least you were in it. You lost it. And I could go, he didn't back down. Like how MJF never backs down from Hangman Page is how Mox should be with everybody.
Like this is a guy who's not happy unless he is pouring blood out of his forehead. What's he afraid of?
Exactly. And you've got Pac and Claudio flanking you, and they're absolute badasses. And we are you to too.
He has no reason to fear anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
True.
Once they started doing the run tail between your legs, I go, you lost it. If you would have just had him absolutely mow everybody down and take over the roster, like an actual takeover, like he teased at the beginning, then you have something. But the second you're just like, oh, I'm scared of Cope. Okay.
Like I love Cope. He's the reason I became a fan. But like, Jesus, the guy's in his mid-50s. He's coming off of a severely broken leg. He's got a bad neck. Yeah. John Moxley shouldn't be fearing this guy. He can't 1 minute say, "You better hope I don't kill you."
Yeah.
You know, you better hope I show mercy and don't kill you.
Literally.
And be like, "Don't break my briefcase, sir." Like the whole thing is weird.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. We have a singles match for the AEW Continental Championship. It is Kazuchika Okada going up one-on-one with Australian's own Buddy Matthews. This match is going to be all sorts of good. All sorts of good this match will be. Yes.
Whoa!
But I see Okada.
Yeah, you take that take you just gave JPJ and shove it.
Hey, man. It is what it is. I'll take it. It's fine. This match is going to be very good. And I think this could be a match of the night stealer of that. But it's Okada retaining. I don't see Okada losing that title to anybody other than Kenny Omega.
Like this is a great spot for Buddy to showcase. I'm glad he's getting the match. He's losing.
Yeah. I would agree. Then we have a regular tag team match, regular tag rules. But I mean, with these four guys, this could be a match of the year candidate potentially. It's Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega in his first official match back with AEW, going one-on-one with the Don Callis family, who will be Kyle Fletcher, Australia's own Kyle Fletcher, and Konosuke Takeshita. This match should be very, very good. I would assume Kenny Omega is going to get the victory in his first match back, I would think, but the Callis family are the Callis family. So I do feel like this is a match for me that could go either way.
It's not his first match back. His first match back was at Maximum Carnage. He did win that against.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's my bad.
But yeah.
Right.
I'll flip a coin.
Are we buying Ospreay and Omega getting along? I know they're buddy now, but there is that, like, history.
It just feels like you don't put these two guys together for a match and have them lose.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. Like, do we think that could we see like a Mark Davis or like something like that kind of?
Oh, there's going to be all the shenanigans. There's going to be screwdrivers. There's going to be everything, right? There will be blood. There's going to be a lot of craziness, but I just somehow, some way, I feel like Kyle Fletcher is taking a one-winged angel and this bad boy's over. That's just how I feel. I'm on. It's a massive coin flip for me, but I'm leaning towards the Omega powers right now.
I think that's where I'm leaning to. I'm leaning towards Ospreay and Omega getting the win. But like I do agree with you. I do think we'll see all the other members of the Callis family. I think we'll see weapons. We'll see Dawn try to get involved. I think we're gonna just see a lot of shady shit happen. But it's hard for me to pick against Ospreay and Omega. It's just hard for me to do.
This match is going to be ref like a Chiefs game. Just
What a time.
Yeah, I like how you said normal tag match. There's not a normal tag.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We do say normal tag match, but they're not following the rules.
Yeah, ref's discretion is at an all-time high.
Yeah. And then we have our main event, or what I would assume would be the main event. It is for the AEW Women's World Championship. It is Mariah May defending against timeless Toni Storm. I thought Mariah May, that promo that she had last night, I thought was also excellent. I obviously, since Timeless has returned, I think that this feud has been incredible. I mean, Toni Storm winning it back in her home country. Is that what we think here?
Yeah.
Is it? Probably, right?
Yeah. Because I don't think this is over.
I don't either.
I think they elongate it at least through Revolution.
Yeah.
It just feels like the right time to have, even if it's a BS finish, to have Toni come back the way that she did, which has been just a flawless execution of the whole, rookie story angle. Does she have amnesia? Is she playing a game? What is going on here? Is she confused? Does she have a brain injury? What is going on? All the subtleties that they did, from even having her debut match being on Rampage, which set the internet on fire. What are they doing? They're having Toni's first.
I can't believe they would do this.
Yeah, they can't believe they would do that. Everything was done meticulously for a reason. This story has been plot out and delivered to perfection so far.
If you notice, though, everybody has said that every step of this story, they go, why would they do that? Why are they doing that? And then they paid it off. It was I couldn't believe it.
So the one thing I can say is I was, as this was playing out, the one thing that I was told in confidence was, don't worry, it will all make sense. And it did. It did. Everything played out perfectly, and you can see why they made every decision that they made, which is always which is why that, saying of, all right, well, just wait, give it. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah. Right? Let us see how this plays out. There's a reason. Yeah. It's an overused term, but there's a reason it does exist. And it's stories like this. Everything they've done so far has been to perfection. So unless there is some kind of a major, Mariah has her own little protege that's going to be debuting or something of that nature, right? I think Toni's got to win. I think this is Toni's going away. Yeah.
I think home country, main event. I think it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's guaranteed by any means, but I think it is I agree with you that I do see this going further. I think this is the second of a trilogy, most likely. So I would pick Timeless Toni Storm to win the belt here, because I think this is going to keep on going. So that's what I would pick. And then we'll get kind of act 3 of this story with Mariah and Toni.
What is act 3? Because that does make sense. But what is, so we got to have a cage match or something, some kind of something. They got to do something big if they're going to go for a third.
Well, where's Revolution at? Is it in LA?
LA, I believe.
Oh, perfect. The Hollywood Starlet returns to Los Angeles with her championship belt and some kind of gimmicked Hollywood style film noir-esque type street brawl or something like that. Yeah. I mean, there's something Toni's got.
Yeah. What about why don't we bring back the old Hollywood backlot brawl? Would anybody be against that?
Hell no. Why not?
No, that'd be a good time.
They could go cinematic with this crap for all I care. Just give me a good show.
There are options.
Give me Toni Storm.
Yeah,
big,
right.
Big
I feel like it. All right. I mean, that's all. That's the big wrestling shows on Saturday. We talked a little Vengeance Day. We talked a little Grand Slam and things of that nature. I really do think the moment will be. I mean, I think Toni winning the belt in her home country will be one of the biggest moments of the night. However, I feel like if they do pull the trigger on Harley Cameron, I feel like that could upstage it, kind of, as odd as that sounds.
I feel like that'll be I don't think both of them win. Right? Fair. I don't feel like both of them win. So if Harley, the problem is we're going to know what all the results are before those happen. But if Harley won earlier in the night, because right now I'm at 60-40 Toni. If Harley won, I would switch that. I would go 60-40 Mariah. If I was a betting man, which I am, if I could bet on wrestling, which we can't legally here in the United States. keyword
True.
legally. But
what do you mean? There's odds online right now.
Well, that's an offshore booking.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
DraftKings is offshore.
They don't have you can't bet on.
You can't bet.
You can't bet money on.
You can't bet money on. You can play the games and things like they have on there, but you can't bet money.
I've never gambled on wrestling to begin with because I think it's a flawed concept of like it's a scripted program that somebody knows the results to. It's too easy to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just feel like that's a slippery. Like if you want to bet football, I mean, some people say it's scripted.
If you would have bet Jey Uso to win the Royal Rumble, you would have made yourself a pretty penny, because I think his odds were quite high.
You know what ticks me off about that?
I think he was like
off about that is like you should have seen it coming.
Oh yeah.
Like if you look at his trajectory as a performer, like it made total sense for him to win the Royal Rumble and face Gunther again. Like the way that they have been presenting him and the way that he has been treated like a rock star by the crowds in every town that he goes to, and it's only amplified since then. Like that's one of those things where I'm mad at myself that I didn't see it coming ahead of time.
Yeah, because we were all shocked. We were all shocked.
Like Drew said, you know, he's out there playing chess and we were playing checkers. We're focused on all the other stuff because it was so star-studded. That should have been another sign too, the way they were like, every big name's in this thing. We're not going to have one of them win.
Yeah,
it's just
like the second that, like, first off, the arguably the like bigger shock was the fact that Roman Reigns was in a Royal Rumble and didn't finish in the Final Four. That's never happened before. So like that whole setup and CM Punk getting tossed by Logan Paul, I'm like, Cena's winning. Obviously, everybody in the arena was like, "Oh, clearly Cena's going to win this." I remember standing in the press box, getting ready to run down to the media scrum afterwards, and I just looked over at Zach Haydorn, and I just said, "Hey, this is a really nice spot for Jey Uso here."
That's what. Yeah,
This is a great shine moment for him to be the one that goes toe to toe with John Cena as he punches his ticket to Mania.
Yep.
And then Jay shoves him off the freaking apron. I'm just like,
what just happened? That's exactly I said the same thing to Pluggo. I go, this is really good for Jey Uso. Good for him.
Good for him.
I said as long as he, and I go,
Royal Rumble runner-up.
Yeah, I was like runner-up to John
and I went,
Cena,
as long as he wins
for
it.
him.
If he wins
good
it,
for
it's a good
him.
moment.
And then all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, is like, Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. Good for him. Good for him. He won the Royal Rumble. It was the same thing. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was good stuff. Rick, as always, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always appreciate your presence on this show. Let the people know where they can find you, where they can find your stuff. Sports Illustrated. You said yourself you have 18 jobs. So let the people know. Might take 5 minutes, but let them know.
Yeah, the stuff you guys are going to care about. So Takedown on SI. It's Sports Illustrated's pro wrestling website. All of my stuff you can find on X at Rick Ucchino, as it's laid out on the screen right there. That's the one-stop shop for everything. That's where you can find the links to my Harley Cameron interviews that I've done recently. Talked to Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green. Royal Rumble weekend. I just talked to Roxanne Perez. That piece is going to drop on Saturday. Ahead of Vengeance Day, Saturday morning, so you can look for that there. And then tomorrow, I believe 9 a.m. On the Takedown on SI YouTube channel, we are debuting the first ever Takedown discussion show. It's a new show featuring Zach Haydorn and myself that is going to be airing every Friday on the YouTube channel. So make sure to check that out. Like, subscribe, do all what you guys do if you appreciate my work, like my stuff. That's where it's going to be at. Takedown on SI, the website and YouTube channel.
Heck yeah, love it. Pluggo, let the people know.
Game, dude.
I love it. Let the people know
what I do just to sound good.
You want me to go first to make you feel
better? No, I got it. No, it's Saturday morning, 10 a.m. For Exposure. Me and Blair Pacheco, Graymaker Podcast, breaking down the Jersey J Cup and much, much more. And then at Pluggo for everything social media wise, right then and there. I've got a Vengeance Day article coming out on lovewrestling.ca. My top 5 will be out this weekend as well that I write over there. Everything that we do show-wise at B2 Beers on all social media platforms will be up, letting you know what we've got coming up, what we got going on. I hear a little rumor that tomorrow we have an interview dropping with a GCW World Champion. You can connect the dots. It'll be up here on Love Wrestling. So stay tuned for that. I think that's it.
Rock and roll.
Quick question for you guys. Quick question for you. Who wins Meat Madness tomorrow night on SmackDown?
Oh boy.
Wait, what? Who's Meat Matt? What's going on?
Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu, Damian Priest. Triple threat match.
Oh,
yeah. I'm gonna say Damian. I'm gonna say I want Jacob Fatu to win because I think him in the chamber would be a time and a half. But I think it's Priest. I think Priest is gonna end up winning that match.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Priest.
I think it's going to be Priest.
I'm going with Fatu, man.
I would not hate it. I would not hate it.
We've agreed all night long. It's about time we have some dissension.
Here's the thing, right? Here's why I don't want it to be Jacob Fatu. Because he's not winning Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Which means he's going to have to lose. So you protect him by having one of the other two men in the triple threat match lose.
Yeah.
So I think Priest wins the match by pinning Braun Strowman.
Or he doesn't have to lose and he wins the chamber and he goes on to WrestleMania. Come on.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think that is maybe next year.
No, what? Listen, I just ride the lightning as we just talked. Ride the lightning.
Yeah, WWE, they don't. I mean, well, they did with I don't know. Whatever.
I think you're both right. I just wanted to be different, but I do think Fatu in the chamber, like you said.
Oh, it'd be wild.
Yeah,
it'd be wild. You can follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms. I do have a Twitch as well where we play video games over there a handful of times a week. As you know, you can find me here every Thursday night with this guy, Pluggo, doing this thing, the flagship here at Between Two Beards. Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, 10 a.m. Firmly Love Wrestling with my buddy Drew Nicholas. We talk WWE on Tuesdays. We talk AEW on Thursdays. And then Monday nights after Monday Night Raw, you can find me over on bodyslam.net. I do the Raw post show with Corey and Nick over there. That's where you can find me. Appreciate everybody tuning in, the chat. Everybody was awesome tonight. We had some new friends and some old friends in there. Appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you all real soon. And until then, you guys know the drill. Say hi to Sue. Peace out.
Hi, Sue.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. Get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you Two Beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans. Watch yourself.